yes, Mr. Trumptastic on the Black Donald Trump radio show. Yeah, I'm about to hit y'all over the head with another banger. Yeah, this is a flip-flop Fauci remix. Turn up, Patrick. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Flip-flop Fauci. Flip-flop Fauci. I'm flexing in DC, and I'm dripping like I'm saucy. Flip-flop Fauci. Flip-flop Fauci. I'm flexing in DC, and I'm dripping like I'm saucy. Feeling like Rocky. I'm feeling like Rocky. Bad boy swag, had me feeling real cocky. Went to Trader Joe's and your pockets looking sloppy. Yeah, I had to sacrifice and it really cost me. Went to Trump Plaza and start dripping in the coffee. Woke up in the morning and I made a cup of coffee. Had a lot of friends and I think they really lost me. Had all the mass heads tweaking like a zombie. 9 years later, ain't forgot about Benghazi. Yeah, they tried to kill me like Omar Gaddafi. Yeah, I'm at the finish line. I did the Ricky Bobby. Dictator Donnie had me shooting at the Nazis. Took a trip down under and I turned into a Aussie. Kangaroo swag had me jumping like an athlete. Yeah, I beat the race and I started at the track meet. Rolling down 65, I'm headed down the back streets. Flip-flop Fauci, flip-flop Fauci. I'm flexing in DC and I'm dripping like I'm saucy. Flip-flop Fauci, flip-flop Fauci. I'm flexing in DC and I'm dripping like I'm saucy. Flip-flop Fauci, flip-flop Fauci. I'm flexing in DC and I'm dripping like I'm saucy. Flip-flop Fauci, flip-flop Fauci. I'm flexing in DC and I'm dripping like I'm saucy. Yo, yeah, it's Mr. Trumptastic only on the Black Donald Trump radio show. Yeah, y'all gonna love this one. Flip-flop Fauci, flip-flop Fauci. I'm flexing in DC and I'm dripping like I'm saucy.
Mr. Trumptastic, you know, I just flipped the game. Yo, yes, Mr. Trumptastic only on the Black Donald Trump radio show. Turn up, patrons, yeah. And I'm juiced up like my name is Descarino. I broke the voting machines and I hit it like bingo. And I'm juiced up like my name is Descarino. I broke the voting machines and I hit it like bingo. 3-piece chicken wing, I made a step at Dino's. Mr. Trumptastic, I'm rapping bilingual. I made another hit and I'm popping like the Pringles can. I'm giving off about the same way when an eagle land. Money on your head, turn me green like an Eagles fan. Dancing like I'm crippled, but I don't need no legs to stand. Trying to block my shine, will have you running out of sunscreen. I'm flying through the sky, but I jump without a bungee. I'm dressed in all black, had me dancing like the grungy. I'm flexing in the jungle and I flipped it like a monkey. Smoking on some purple, same color as Mr. Dink. I'm crawling on your floor, but I'm oozing at your kitchen sink. Household name, and I think I just broke the bank. You used to flip the dog food, now you just smoking hate. Magaland, turn me up, I mixed it with the propane. Had to pull the stick out like I'm about to get my oil changed. I didn't make the cut, but I still started anyway. I didn't make the cut, but I still started anyway. Every time I walk out the house, I cause an avalanche. Mr. Trumptastic, I'm cool like a dab ranch. I'm the one who made you move your feet, move side to side. I sprayed them like a roach, but I killed them with insecticide. Watching fake news, had you dancing like the zombie. You work for Trader Joe with a face like Mitt Romney. Easy on the pickles while I'm squeezing out the Tommy. And I'm juiced up like my name is Descarino. I broke the voting machines and I hit it like bingo. And I'm juiced up like my name is Descarino. Yo, yeah, some Trumptastic only on the Black Donald Trump radio show. Yeah.
Yo. Yes, we back in the building again. This is the early morning radio show, y'all. We back. Y'all see the thumbnail. Let me do a sound check before we take flight. Okay, I think we sound good. Yeah, we sound perfect, y'all. Yeah, man. Celebrity news. You know we gotta comb over this celebrity news. Yes, Doja Cat deleted her tweets. Calls gay fan Musty. Like, disrespecting her fans, you know what I'm saying? Like, she could have kept that to herself. She could have kept all that talk to herself, man. And this ain't a good look. I told you these entertainers is crashing out. They disrespecting their fans. They never really liked their fans. And this is the perfect example of crashing out, y'all. And on top of that, Justin Bieber had another episode, y'all. He had another episode. This is then versus now. And we looked at his bank account. You looked at Justin Bieber's bank account, and it don't look too swell. I'll tell you that much, bro. He's spending over $100 million a year. He went from 300 million, and I think he's down to like 200 million within a year. And I know Diddy, he was milking him too. Diddy was milking the hell out of Justin Bieber for his money. But if you a gump in Hollywood, they gonna take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? They really gonna take advantage of you every time. I keep on telling people that. Do you really want to be a superstar in this religion we call Hollywood? Hollywood is its own religion, y'all. It's based off deception. Now you see her real skin showing. She was all a part of the Black Eye Club. All a part of the Black Eye Club. Mitt Romney, Black Eye Club, Jelly Roll, Black Eye Club. They all got to sell out, you know what I'm saying? We all know that most entertainers do not like their fans, y'all. The reason why they're so polarizing is because they're entertaining the brain. Without these entertainers, a lot of people would be bored. A lot of people wouldn't have anything to talk about. Chasing trending topics has been has been on the menu for a while. Why? Is because a lot of people don't have nothing else except trending topics, y'all. Diddy trial, Doja Cat, Cassie. That's all you hear every day from the black community. Go look at what's trending in the black community. It's nothing. This is what's trending right now. So that's why we're talking about it. This is what's trending, Justin Bieber. Now the thing is, they put on an act. They put on the show. And this is how they generate their revenue. Through trending topics, through Hollywood antics. She said, I threw the shirt away. It was musty, y'all. Now let's get into the video and then we go check out Justin Bieber because he's crashing out. I wouldn't be surprised if we heard from him, you know what I'm saying, found somewhere in a dumpster somewhere, overdose. I don't know what drugs I know he smoked weed, but what else is he taking? What else is he taking? Have y'all seen Pussy Neck Mike Pompeo, y'all? Is this the real Mike Pompeo? Let's get him out the way right now. He got a pussy neck. I don't know what it is, man. Man, they said when you get older, your neck start turning into a pussy, your ears start getting big. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. They say your nose start getting larger. They say that, man. It's a scientific fact. When you start getting old, body parts, facial features start getting bigger. You're getting a large ball sack. Your balls is bigger than your penis. All that shit's going on with age 40 and up, man. So if you hitting the 40, you need to go get your prostate checked. Or you might have ball cancer like Joe Biden. But nowadays, you could, guess what? Guess who detects the cancer nowadays? AI. So AI say, well, motherfucker, you got ball cancer. That's what your ass got. And it's a wrap. But this pussy neck Mike Pompeo, I'm gonna get his ass off the screen. I had to get him out the way. I just had him queued up because I seen his ass pop back up on the screen, on the TV screen. I said, what the hell is that on his neck? I said, is that a fucking turkey? Is that a turkey? Speaking of turkeys, man, Thanksgiving is around the corner. And like I said before, hey, shouts out to a human being. We talked about this like 2 episodes ago about them damn turkeys. I'm warning y'all now. Thanksgiving is upon us. Do not buy butterball turkeys, man. They got illegal migrants nutting in the turkeys, y'all. Having sex with turkey. Yes. Real shit, man. Real shit, man. I'm telling you, you go to Walmart right now, I bet there's 50 butterball turkeys from last year. They ain't sold them yet. They should have threw them out with the dogs. And matter of fact, I wouldn't even feed my dog a fucking butterball raw turkey, let alone a cooked one. But some people, that's why some people sick right now. That's why some people's hawking loogies and shit like that. I was hawking loogies, and I'm like, damn, I didn't eat no butterball turkey. I hope it ain't no motherfucking nut coming out my goddamn mouth from some damn legal migrant nutting in some damn turkeys. They said it was just butterball brand, but shit, now I'm thinking it's something, it's the brand I got. I forgot what did I get? I know it ain't. Matter of fact, we went over somebody else's house during Thanksgiving last year, and I made sure they didn't have a butterball in that oven. Shouts out to AJ, man, my brother-in-law. He could cook. He could cook like crazy. Shouts out to the people that could cook, but I don't know about this generation. I don't know if they could cook. They used to put fucking TV dinners in the oven, microwaving food, and they don't know how to. They wouldn't know how to survive, or you know what I'm saying. They wouldn't know how to live like somewhat off the grid if everything shut down anyway. You know why? Because you have social media influencers that paint this life, and it's detrimental to their fans, y'all. So the thing is, if I was this dude, I would sue. I would sue Doja Cat. You ain't about to embarrass me, goddamn it. Call me Musty. And we don't even know if you know what I'm saying? Cause she said, oh, he smelled good. But she just wanted to make a spectacle out this dude. And yes, I put gay man in the title because it seemed like only the rainbow community really listen to Doja Cat for real. You know what I'm saying? I think she got maybe 1 or 2 hits, but ain't no straight man really listening to Doja Cat. First of all, ain't no straight man really listening to Beyonce. Let's get that out the way. Taylor Swift too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shouts out to the LGBT community, but they got plus plus plus. That's the ones that making y'all look bad. Just like you got in every race, you gonna have somebody make you look bad. You gonna have your sub people in your race, and then you gonna have your top tier. But let's get into it. But yeah, I don't like when people be trying to lump everybody together. Don't let me with the rest of the Negroes. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Don't let me with them. But this is what the internet does. They lump everybody. There's one guy on X, he just lump everybody together. I'm like, bro, you about to crash out. You supposed to be teaching people how to navigate through this damn matrix, and you just shutting people in. Like, and those are the people that's crashing out. And guess what? This is one of them right here. Candace Owens, man. She was capping for him. She was capping for pedo man. He got convicted. But how many knuckleheads took Candace Owens word hook, line, and sinker? I said, y'all put Candace Owens over me. I said, y'all going to hell with the Antichrist. Y'all going to hell with the bout. Some of y'all already got y'all ticket punched already. Y'all just, right now, a lot of people just waiting to go to hell. That's all, for real. Look on people's pages and see what they mind is tapped into. Just weirdo shit. Got a lot of weirdos on the internet. Red pill weirdos, blue pill weird. They all come in different shapes and sizes around this motherfucker. And if the shoe fits, wear it. I ain't sparing none of y'all because y'all don't know the difference between God and government. First of all, God is government and government is God. And until you get that in your stupid pea brain head, you'll keep on getting fooled by social media influencers like this. Y'all motherfuckers still ain't apologized because y'all got fooled by Quater. I bring this up because if you got fooled by him, you definitely getting the mark of the beast. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You might as well line your ass up, donate to this show, and that'd be that. That'd be that. Because the thing is, y'all not helping real content creators anyway. Y'all following bitches that take up for pedo man. I already caught y'all a long time ago, man. I said people say stuff that'll align with your beliefs, and then next thing you know, they crashing out with Epstein or Harvey Weinstein. It's always them Weinsteins, Epsteins, anybody with the last name Steam, they blowing smoke out their ass. All right, people need to know that, man. People living in the look. 2 Thessalonians 2:7. For the mystery of the lawlessness is already at work, y'all. God versus government is already in play. Everything in the Bible is playing out. That's why I don't understand when people be like, man, yeah, man, the Bible's fake. No, the Bible's not fake. Your pea brain just don't know how to interpret it into things of this world. Come on, man. It's not that hard to figure out. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. They tell you everything you need to know, but the Holy Spirit is not in some people at all. Some people don't have the Holy Spirit. They connected to this God we call string theory. So whoever is the hand or the hand of God is controlling this dummy right here. Okay, and this dummy, he go by many names. It could be anybody. This is the Lord of the Flies concept, all right? Because this hand of God, he got many entities working for him at one. You know what I'm saying? This is your armor harmonic chords, right? You see the chords? Yeah, those are the devices that's gonna rapture you up in the end of days. Guess what? A lot of y'all already punched y'all tickets. Now let's get into the video, family. Let's get into the video. She straight up disrespected this fan. And this is a wake-up call for gay people. I was wondering when the gay folks was gonna wake up out they fucking slumber. All right. Because you gotta think a lot of homosexual folks, man, they spend the most money on rap music and hip hop. They spend the most money on entertainment, y'all. And if they scare the gay people away, what do you have left? Nothing. They have nothing because hip hop ain't really booming anymore. Everybody putting out the same shit. That's why, when I come out, I put out different shit. You know what I'm saying? My stuff don't sound like anybody else's in the world. And guess what? I meant it to be that way. I don't care if it don't, you know what I'm saying? Some songs sound good. Some songs sound like duty. Shit, and I'm the one who made them. I can admit it. When somebody was like, I'll play like 5 songs for somebody in the car, and I'll be like, man, I ain't gonna play this because I didn't even know what I was doing in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Just admit it. But the thing is, people need to be truthful with themselves. Sometimes you have a banger, sometimes you don't. Was she true with herself? Hell no, nah, because he got convicted. She said this man was innocent and he got convicted. Okay. This is the mystery of pedo man. The mysteries of pedo man. Fee 5 phone. Now let's get into this video, family, because she's very deceptive. I ain't gonna be on here long. I'm gonna come through the on the midday on the midday show, and we go rock out like around 12, 1 o'clock. But yeah, check this out, y'all. And I think we got this queued up the right way. Hold on. Yeah, we got the volume on. All right. So here's this guy, man. He's a Doja Cat fan. And like I said, you take that damn fake ass hair off, you get bald head, scallywag, ain't got no hair in the back. Gelled up, weaved up. Your hair is messed up. And I told you, let me pull this up. I need to show y'all something about Black Hollywood. Because the thing is, if you want to enter into Black Hollywood, you got to be bald headed and ugly. I told y'all that they ain't letting no more regular black people in Hollywood. You got to be hard fried, what I like to say. You got to be damn near a test tube, baby, to get in Black Hollywood. Yeah, you see how far her eyes is apart? Her eyes goddamn on the side of her head. I told you these Hollywood actors, they're test tube babies. They're evergreen babies. Y'all heard about Evergreen and Hillary Clinton? Yes. Justin Bieber is an evergreen baby. He was locked in one of those evergreen. And guess what he said? He said, "Man, I can't grow." Why can't you grow, Justin Bieber? Because he got Neuralink in his head. He ain't fully human. And y'all wonder why he can't get his life together with Christ. He ain't gonna get his life together with Christ. He done tried a million times. He worshiped his God called Hollywood. What is Hollywood? That's the tree. That's the burning bush. This God just come in different forms. Y'all are not familiar with because y'all got taught one way. And if you only get taught one way, it's just one way in, one way out. All right. When God said there's multitudes of ways to get out of here. When he said, yes, my mansion has many rooms or many dimensions. What are these dimensions? Dimensions. You have to die to get in these damn mansions. You can't take your physical body with you. And I think that's some of y'all problem. Y'all want to cheat death, so y'all call on fifth dimensional entities from the crossover. So y'all want to cheat death and make deals with these demigods. Y'all go get y'all ass handed to you. Yeah, y'all go get y'all ass y'all go stick out like a sore thumb. All right, and when you stick out like a sore thumb in certain groups, guess what? When evil is upon you, you don't have nowhere to hide. All right. I told you they like killing groups of mass people so they could detect the soul extracting from the body. Yes, their tits get hard when they see a multitude of people soul getting extracted out the body. They can monitor that in real time. These are your real live Ghostbusters, and I think he's one of them because guess how many souls he done took to hell. All right, guess how many souls they done took to hell. I know y'all like Jelly Roll, but he got a black eye too. And then you know what? Some people try to argue with me and say, "Oh man, it's the right eye." No, they said it's the left eye. It's the left eye. I said, "No, it's not, dummy." And then when you prove that it ain't just the left eye, it's the right eye too. You don't hear from these people anymore because there's conspiracy theories have been shattered. Just easy shit that you could just Google, man. You know what I'm saying? And you would think people would know this knowledge, but they don't. They got the internet right in front. Everybody got the internet right in front of them. And then you pull up some shit that'll debunk a conspiracy theory, and then you don't hear from these people no more. They go off, and then they go off into their echo chamber. They're not universal. They're not in many dimensions. Okay, they can't enter heaven. These are the people. I'm telling you, these are the people that cannot enter heaven. They don't have the ability to go to be everywhere at one time. That's God. That's God's speed. What we call God's speed. People just be talking, but they not really connecting the dots like over here on Mr. Trumptastic Radio. You know, I got Mr. Trumptastic TV, but I really don't be on that channel. If you go to that YouTube channel, it's just pre uploads of what I'd already done said 4 years ago with this damn red pill shit. You know what I'm saying? Red pill versus blue pill. You go take either one. Or you need to really take both pills. You go need both pills. You can't just be a redhead and then abandon the blue heads. You're gonna get so far red, you go turn into the goddamn devil. You go be Satan. Now you practicing Satanism. When you get too far red, guess what happens? You chilling with Anton Levy and shit, throwing up them hook 'em horns, because guess what? The hook 'em horns is a familiar god. It's the cow god. It's the god of America, the milk and honey, or what they call the cowboy. So when I see people throwing up the hook 'em horns, I'll be like, yeah, man, that's their god, cowboy. All cowboys worship the Kappa or the Capricorn. That's the horns right there. They don't even know this is your earliest form of Christ. This is how he able to keep up with the damn beast in the field. All right, he done split your brain and this the demiurge right here, the sun and the moon. You gotta have both red pill, blue pill to even know what the fuck going on in here, or you go get doxxed by this goddamn machine. And some of y'all already online in trouble. Y'all already in trouble, man. I come up on here every day to tell you where you go most likely be at by 2028. Most likely you gonna be dead. All right. I'm just being real with you. Especially if you a radical. You're gonna be dead, man. Quit playing on the internet. Let's go.
I'm about to give my shirt to Doja Cat because she's the iconic girl.
Period.
No, bitch, you deserve it. Literally, and if you ever want anything more, I got you, always. This is the girl right here. I love you, Zach.
Like, he being too touchy, all that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to touch no superstar like that. You could have, look, he could have skin diseases, skin lesions, and all that. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to touch people like this nowadays. Back then, you used to be able to do it. People didn't care. But nowadays, with all these diseases going on, shit, no random fan be skin to skin. He done took the damn shirt off. But look, she say he smelled good though. Now let's play this.
Happy Pride Month.
Pablo.
See? Didn't I tell you? You heard what he said? Rainbow. Shouts out to the Rainbow Gang, but didn't I had to make the connection. She only got Rainbow fans. And the thing is, if she to keep on disrespecting Rainbow fans, they go cancel her, man. Because Doja Cat, I think she's pansexual. And those motherfuckers fuck everything. They'll fuck doorknobs and all that shit, man. TV corner, you know what I'm saying? The damn corner on the TV, you know what I'm saying? A coffee cup, they just a tree, they hump everything, man. So yeah, a lot of these LGBTQ heads, man, they pansexual, man. I mean, that's on them, man. I ain't judging. I'm just telling you the scientific reasoning behind why they do the things they do. That's just what they do. It is what it is. I'm just providing the connection between the 2 points. I'm not judging nobody. This is all jokes. This is all entertainment, y'all. Because at the end of the day, that's what it really is.
Nice to meet you. Wait, what's your real name? Or is it Doja?
Ami.
Ami? Ami. So nice to meet you, girl. You're beautiful.
Her name Ami. Her name Doja Cat. You know what I'm saying? She got multiple avatars she could tap into, but they all evil. It's not like they're good. There's a fine line between good magic and deceptive practices, y'all. But Doja Cat, she already practiced the mystery school of Egyptology. She already know how to train your brain to believe in everything she says. But we all know her whole genetic apparatus is fraudulent. Okay, we all know that, and so is his alternate ego. He used to be real, but now he's a Geppetto. He used to be real, but now, then and now. Same thing with Amanda Bynes. We did a whole documentary on Amanda Bynes. They screwed her. They screwed her so bad. She don't have a brain anymore. She running on autopilot. Half the time, I think he just be trolling. Let me be honest with you. But he's going broke, y'all. It's a fact. If Justin Bieber is going broke, Diddy's going broke, a lot of entertainers are going broke. They're just not going to stand the test of time, and that's by design. If you want to destroy a culture, you have to destroy it from within. So this is what the Diddy cases are all about, destroying the culture. So when people hear rap music or rape music, the first thing they say is ill. This is disgusting. And we all know. Same thing with this incident. Y'all remember this Sauce Walker incident? They let him off the hook. I don't even think they pressing charges on Sauce Walker unless they just tapping his phone and just waiting. We might hear something this summer. He might get picked up. He might get picked up this summer. Let me get this up. Let me erase this off my damn slides. But yeah, that might happen. You never know. But let's get back to the video.
I hope you have the best night. You're literally everything in one. Thank you. Yeah.
So she put his leg around him. So she is returning the favor. So she don't care if he got skin lesions on his body. She's down with it, and then she come through and say some dumbass shit like this. But she all over this alleged musty ass fan. Crash out. She a crash dummy. She gonna lose a lot of LGBTQ fans. I hope she do. And like I said, they on the verge of going broke anyway. So don't be surprised if you see Doja Cat working at Walmart. And the thing is, with the rap music, if you get it LLC, I believe you can draw social security off this shit. Yeah, you gotta look at, if you're an artist, I advise you to look into it, because that's what I heard. Allegedly, some people living off that social security, that rap social security check. But yeah, let's continue. Let me get Pussy Neck up out of here, man. He got pussy flaps on his neck. I'm tired of looking at Mike Pompeo. He turned against Trump too. You notice everybody that turned against Trump, they dollars just end up depleted, or something just offset when you go against Trumpism. That's how it's looking right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fifth degree look like. I'm telling you, because the thing is, it's all based off perception. If you have all your paperwork, you are fine. If you're registered, you are fine. If you're an illegal, if you're doing any type of crime, retail crime, any type of crime, man, they know how to dox you and find you with this new AI system. And people are really complaining about this shit. It was already in the manifesto to begin with. People are upset about migrants, but migrants look all alike. You got to think, the Iranians look like Mexicans, the Ukrainians look like whites. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if that's why they pulling over so many Mexicans. It's not that they Mexican, it's that they might be Iranian too. You don't know the fucking difference. They kind of look the same. So you gotta pull them over and check out check and see if they got a real ID. That's what the real ID. You gotta have a real ID, man, to get in America now. You can't just come across the border because we got homegrown terrorists, y'all, that are migrants. But they not telling you, they're not gonna tell you that on the news. They go muddy the water on the news. Now let's get back into this video.
Nice to meet you, girl. You're beautiful. I hope you have the best night. You're literally everything in life. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm kissing a damn stranger.
Girl, I mean, love you down.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
You smell great.
You see that? You smell great. And guess what? She went on national. Look at this shit. Look at this shit, man. She's speaking to a fan like this. That's how you know her time is up. Once you start speaking to fans like this, your time is up. She said, bottom line is I'll smile at you, but it doesn't mean I'll fuck with you and don't touch me. She was touching him. Look, and manhandle me when you don't even fucking know me. I honestly think I need to stand up for myself in the moment sometimes, and he didn't even know my fucking name to be touching me and kissing. Man, she out her goddamn man. This is what he said. This is what he said.
Hi, guys.
This the gay fan right here. This is what he said.
I was just at a party and I got informed that Doja said some shit about me on Twitter. I just want to clear this up because it hurts, because I loved her. I watched her at Coachella. I've never claimed to be the biggest fan, but I really stand her and I think what her work is amazing. I just think it's crazy because she's the one at this event that was being so nice, and she said, she pointed out my shirt and I said, and I like that. And then when I went outside and she was outside, I was like, girl, you'd be the perfect girl for my Pride collection. And she said, what do you mean? What Pride collection? I said, oh, I released this t-shirt, blah, blah, blah. I'd love to give you one. She said, I'd want one right now. And I said, oh, I could give this one to you. She said, no way, you're not going to give this to me. And that's when the video started, and she was being so sweet and amazing, and I thought that's what it was. And now, guys, she's on Twitter saying she threw that musty shirt away. She's saying that I didn't know her name, that I manhandled her, all this stuff. I understand, guys. If I was being like too nice or whatever, I will take full accountability.
That's fucked up,
gay.
man.
I would never want to make her feel uncomfortable. She's so iconic. I thought I have not. I have only been saying the nicest things about.
If you a gay fan watching this, if you LGBTQ and you watching this show, it's a fucking wake up call, y'all. I told you, a lot of people live in fantasy land. Y'all think these people are iconic, but no. Man, these people will have you motherfucking looking stupid live and direct. Look, he looking like a gump. And usually gay people, they really don't stink. I've seen some people, you know what I'm saying, because they think the sex is, when you have a lot of butt sex, you get a lot of doo-doo, all right? And like I said, some people know how to clean that shit up, some people don't. Just like women, they have a lot of butt sex, they always fart. You know what I'm saying? You ever work with somebody that, you know what I'm saying, that done had a lot of sex, they keep on farting, keep on smelling like shit, you already know what time it is. They like that back door, actually. But that's but shit, cologne, and you know what I'm saying? You gotta get right in the damn shower. You got DNA all over your damn body, and it stinks. But I'm pretty sure he kept it. I didn't see no skin lesions and open wounds on his body. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see none of that. But like I said, to be homosexual, you gotta take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? They actually like women. You know what I'm saying? The men to be like women. A lot of men that go that way, they get their nails painted, you know what I'm saying? Because they want to look soft too. So some of them know how to take care of their body, some of them don't. But this looked like one that know how to take care of his body or her body. I don't know.
about her. She's the sweetest celebrity. She made me feel so seen. She said, Ami, I thought she was I mean, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is for publicity or for whatever, guys, but I would have never wanted to make her uncomfortable. I would have never even filmed if she didn't say yes. Guys, that video that we filmed was after everything, and I don't want to be that guy that comes on emotional or whatever, but I feel like I'm always the butt of the joke. Like, why am I the punching bag, bro? Like, literally, like, nothing happened other than her liking my shirt. I offered it to give it to her. She doesn't have to keep it. She doesn't have to do whatever. But she was obviously down. Like, and I understand she has to set her boundaries. She's a celebrity. I'm not. I will never understand that. So I value that and I appreciate it and I get that. But for me, guys, I'm a normal ass person that's at a bar, meets Doja Cat. I just released my clothing drop for Pride, and I just offered to give her one, and she said, "Oh, I want one right now." So I had the size. I was like, "Here, take it." I apologize if I did anything wrong at all. But guys, I'm a human being too. And honestly, this just shows me, I guess, that maybe not everybody's who they show in person. I would have never said anything other than she's the sweetest girl ever. But I guess she went on a whole tweet rant about me. I never claimed to have it all laid out, to know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just at a bar, released a clothing drop. Doja was being very sweet to me. And also, guys, I know I didn't know her first name.
So he was at a bar releasing his clothing line. This all might just be spectacle for real. Just how that little baby incident and Jack Doherty incident. Like little baby snatched the chain, but they got all this money off this content. Next thing you know what I'm saying? They chilling and shit. You know what I'm saying? They hanging out. You know what I'm saying? It was all a spectacle. But yeah, this what's going on, y'all. This is what's going on. We about to get into him because his teeth look like goddamn chiclets out this bitch. You know what I'm saying? His teeth look like damn Skittles. Sad, man.
So sorry. I never claimed to be the biggest fan ever. I just respect.
Yeah, this might be advertisement for his clothing line going out. You know what I'm saying? So we all know what the hell they doing. They all getting exposed. Candace Owens, she getting exposed. She should have never stood up for Harvey Weinstein. She's capping, and you see her standing on her Masonic checkerboard with the Catholic priest. I told you there's a Catholic connection going on. All right. If you feel like you have to get outside your body to find peace, I see why you feel trapped. A lot of people are feeling like this, but I don't think this would be a good look for her fan base. Now let's get into Justin Bieber because I gotta go here in a second. Let's get in, and I will continue the show later, unless I might just put it on some. I might just put it on some news and then have to go because I'm only gonna take about 30 minutes, but I don't want this live to go dead. I might just just stream and then come back later. So yeah, I might just keep the stream going, come back later. Now this is Justin Bieber. He having a fucking cow. He's having a fucking cow. Justin Bieber.
I'm a dad. I'm a husband. You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
We're on the sidewalk,
I don't give a if you're on the sidewalk. I'm a human being. You're standing around my car. At the beach. You know what I'm saying? You don't think I'm a real guy, do you? You're gonna take this video out of context. You're gonna say I'm mad. I don't know who the paying you to provoke me, but I'm not the one. Okay? Stop provoking me. I'm a real dad, a real husband, a real man.
All right.
So don't do this to me. Okay?
All right, cool.
I'm not to be with. I don't know who's paying you to with me or provoke me, but I'm not the one. I don't care that you're on the sidewalk. I don't care what kind of dirty work, what kind of nasty you're getting paid in the background to provoke me, bro, but I'm not the one. I'm really not the one. I don't care that you're on the sidewalk, bro. Clearly you're here for...
They harassing them again, but the thing is, like I said, that's how they get their clout. From the paparazzi, from the camera. That's they all seeing I got. The camera. All right? That's how they came in. That's how they gonna come out. Through the camera.
an alternate agenda. Why would you want to be here to provoke me like this? This isn't love.
You're not provoking, Jason.
Y'all are on some real weird shit. Literally.
All right, have a good night, Jason.
Okay, then go then have a good night somewhere else, man, for real. Because I'm not going to stand around here and let this happen. No sir. No way. No how.
Yeah, you know what? That Diddy shit, he might, you know what I'm saying? He might be on, Diddy might be on his ass, sending them damn bodyguards and shit. So you never know on that case. So I'm pretty sure he paranoid because he knows secrets nobody else know either. All right, he got his booty hole fondled with. He had some more news, but thing is, I gotta run. So I'm gonna keep this thing running, and we go put on some trending topics. Oklahoma City won last night. Let's see. In other news, but yeah, we'll keep it going. We'll keep something on for y'all. All right. Y'all want Trump news? We got to keep y'all updated. We got to keep y'all updated on what's going on. All right, this is from the Israel war. This is some more breakdowns. Hold on. You got the ICE raids. They still out there. They about to get rounded up so they can inject this smart city into the public. It's about time. But like I said, it's all been brewing up. I don't understand like why people are surprised this stuff happening. Like we've been talking about this stuff for years, and since it's finally happening, they mad because it's happening under Trump. What the heck? Hold on, y'all. Yeah, my whole shit went blank. Let's cue this back up. Let's cue this back up.
4 days later, so Iran definitely, doesn't respond instantly, at least in the recent past, and Israel is bracing for it. But yeah, I mean, Israel's intelligence was incredible in this. They took out many of the leaders in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, nuclear scientists, and also much of the defense systems that Iran had. And continue to do so. I mean, there's been additional attacks today as well, and this is going to go on for a few days.
So no matter the response from Iran, one thing's for sure, it's not going to be nuclear. And with that being said, I would argue for you, it makes it easier to sleep at night, does it not?
Absolutely. I heard last night Congressman Brian Mast from Florida said, the one difference now is it won't be a megaton bomb. It'll be, 1,000 pounds or so at most. And instead of killing millions, it may, and again, we're not minimizing any lives, but it may take out, a few hundred. Now that's a huge difference in the future of the nation state of Israel. I would actually posit that it's very possible that Israel has shown that it's been successful in taking out incoming projectiles from Yemen, from Iran, from Hamas and Hezbollah. And hopefully they'll continue to do so.
We know this afternoon that the UK, France, and Germany now calling for a diplomatic resolution to the Iran-Israel tensions. Yet again, the question is, will that actually happen now?
Well, I mean, President Trump came out with a pretty strong statement, and Israel's going to do what it needs to do to protect its own citizenry. Whatever the nations of Europe and around the world are going to come out and say, that's not going to stop. And I think Prime Minister Netanyahu has now proven it without a shadow of a doubt. He's going to do what it takes to protect his own people. You know, we have a policy here of America first. I think Prime Minister Netanyahu stood proud and strong for an Israel first policy.
Overnight, Scott, we saw droves of Israelis making their way to the grocery store in order to stock up on food. You heard me make mention that over at the embassy in Jerusalem, officials have advised American citizens to shelter in place. I'm hoping you can describe what it is to be there. I can only imagine, you know, walking out of this door here at the TV station only to fear that, well, dear God, I could lose my life to a drone.
Yeah, well, let's also keep in mind, I'm in New York, but I was on the phone last night with my son, who's in Jerusalem. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, he and a couple of his friends were headed to a bomb shelter while the sirens were blaring. The sirens are very jarring. You know, Israel's been dealing with sirens for decades now, and they know what it means. You know, every time Hamas and Hezbollah sent up a rocket or a missile or a mortar, and there have been tens of thousands of them over the past 25 or so years, everybody knows what that means. And the entire country was under a siren warning last night, even though there was no credible evidence that there was any incoming projectiles sent to Israel. They knew that they had to protect their, the country, and it's very jarring. You know, it's very, very, especially when you have little kids or elderly, and they have to make their way to a shelter. It's a trying time, but Israelis are strong, and they have total faith in the army to do what needs to be done. And my God, it was breathtaking last night to hear all of the different nuances to this operation.
To your point, Scott, yet again, you are a father. You just made mention of your son being in Israel and yet again heading to a bomb shelter. What is that for you as a dad? What's the everyday routine, if you will, with your son? Do you reach out? Do you all check in? If you miss a call, are you worried? How is that working for you?
Yeah, no, it's very hard, and I have staff over there as well, and they're like family to me as well. It's hard, it's difficult. I mean, you know, you raise your children to be strong and proud and independent, but at the same time, you know, you're worried about them every day, and they're 6,000 miles away, and you know, phone service is tricky sometimes. But you know, I'm proud of him. You know, he wants to be there. He wants to be a part of this. And he's been there now for past 4 or 5 years, so he's been there through a lot. And he wants to be there and be with his people, and I support that wholeheartedly. But you know, for us back here, it's trying, and we pray every day, and we do check in every day. But you know, it is what it is right now. But he's safe, and he's in Jerusalem, which is a pretty secure area. And whatever, we'll see how things progress from here.
Yeah, Godspeed, as we like to say. We'll end with this, and that is, we can speculate that the price of oil will likely surge. As a matter of fact, it has as of today. The largest single-day increase in years, reflecting fears that a wider conflict in the Middle East could lead to serious energy supply disruptions. You think that's going to happen?
So in the short term, it's very possible. I mean, we already saw it today. But I think that we have to also realize that at the end of the day, I think that if this is all successful, that Iran is going to be a more stable country in the Middle East. Whether it's through regime change or just bringing them to their knees where they give up on their nuclear program. Remember, Iran doesn't need nuclear energy. They have some of the cheapest energy in the world based on their oil and gas supply. So we know what their intentions are. And if we can remove that from the landscape, I think that the entire region will benefit from that. And hopefully you'll see that the prices not only will stabilize, but probably even come down further.
Yet again, we have been speaking with Mr. Scott Feltman, Executive Vice President of One Israel Fund, kind enough to join us right here on the Live Zone. Truly appreciate you.
A big thank you there to our Fox 5 DC and Fox 5 New York teams as we continue to cover all of this with the help of our Fox affiliates, and we do have a lot of them all over the country. We always check in with them on these big stories like the Israel-Iran conflict, which, of course, we will continue to bring you developments on all throughout the day and in the coming days as we see everything progress. I do want to take you out to some of the video that we are getting into our newsroom right here from social media. Take a look as you did see Israel's rescue team save a frightened dog from a ruined Tel Aviv building. Grateful she's safe now is the post there on your screen, but you can see the video on the left-hand side of your screen as that man is carrying the frightened dog out of the rubble of the building. We do know that several buildings were destroyed over there in Tel Aviv as a result of the Iranian rocket fire. Sadly, 3 people have died. Those are confirmed deaths from Israeli officials. Now, at this point, that death toll could continue to rise because we also know that dozens of other people were injured as well. And we are seeing a lot of destruction. I know crews out there are still working to piece together all of that and see the extent of the destruction. But we are also getting great images like this one showing Israel's rescue team saving a dog and also saving people from that rubble. We are going to head to our final 2-minute commercial break of the hour here, 6:55 on the East Coast and 3:55 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and you're watching Live Now from Fox. We'll be right back.
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
I am cancer-free thanks to the power of teamwork.
The power of advanced technology.
I am hopeful with the power of clinical trials.
I am living life thanks to the U of O Health Brown Cancer Center.
That's the power of you.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. We are approaching the top of the hour here, 6:57 on the East Coast and 3:57 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here on this Saturday, June 14th, to bring you all of your top stories and live events from across the country and across the world. And I do want to take you out to this live image that we do have at this hour over Tel Aviv. And if you are just joining us, I do want to go over some of the basic information that we do have here as Iran's ambassador to the United Nations Security Council saying that Israel's attacks killed at least 78 people, including top commanders and nuclear scientists, while more than 300 others were injured. He told the Security Council that, quote, the overwhelming majority of victims were civilians, though, of course, there is a dispute over that and the number itself. Now, we also know that there are 3 confirmed deaths after Iran's attacks there in Israel Dozens of other people have been injured, and as you saw right before the break, there is a lot of rubble and a lot of damage. Now, people there in Israel, I've spoken to them earlier on this morning, saying that they are bracing for the potential of more of those strikes. And we also heard from Israeli officials, as they did say, that essentially they are going to continue these strikes on Iran. There is no end in sight, despite some of those retaliatory strikes that we have seen from Iran on Israel. We also know top commanders there, scientists, among the 70+ killed in Israel's strikes. That is according to Iran. We continue to follow all of the latest here with the help of our different affiliates. And basically, we have Connor Hansen, who has been over with Fox News following all of this as we have received different developments.
The Israeli military has been shooting down targets in the sky. The government says Iran has now crossed a red line by targeting civilian population centers like Tel Aviv. Smoke rising over Tel Aviv as Iran launches a deadly barrage of missiles towards Israel. Rescue crews now searching for survivors in the rubble. Israeli officials say the country's defense systems intercepted some of the threats. Senior U.S. officials tell Fox News American forces also assisted.
Our absolute foremost priority is the protection of U.S. citizens, personnel, and forces in the region.
The attack comes as Israeli forces continue to strike Iran's nuclear and military sites. After months of failed negotiations, President Trump spoke with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Friday. He says he would like Iran to come back to the negotiating table, though several top commanders representing Tehran in the talks were killed in Israeli strikes overnight.
Donald Trump didn't believe that a military strike was the right option. He, in fact, told the world that he had told Netanyahu to wait, to give him time for diplomacy.
Still, the prime minister defended the operation in a message to the Iranian people.
The objective of Israel's military operation is to remove this threat, both the nuclear threat and the ballistic missile threat to Israel.
Netanyahu has also made a direct appeal to the people of Iran. He says now is their chance at freedom from the Islamic regime. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Connor, thank you so much, and we will continue to check in with him as he files those reports here throughout the day. We also have this post that is coming in from the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces. They did post this a short time ago with some video there on your screen, and all of it related to what we did see. Now, they say that there's approximately 1,500 kilometers there between Israel and Iran. They also say eliminated 9 senior scientists and experts responsible for advancing the Iranian regime's nuclear weapons program. All of the eliminated scientists and experts, eliminated based on intelligence, were key factors in the development of Iranian nuclear weapons. A lot to discuss here, and we are going to be speaking with experts all throughout the day. I do want to bring in Eylon Levy. He is the former Israeli government spokesperson. You saw him quite a bit here on Live Now from Fox during those press briefings, answering questions from members of the media. Eylon, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Glad to be here.
And first off, I do want to ask you overall what the situation is like for so many people right now who are there in Israel. As all of this is going on, folks are kind of having to stay near those shelters. Explain to me what the situation is like for the civilians there.
Yeah, Israelis are unfortunately well trained what to do during an emergency when there are rocket alerts. We've had nearly 2 years of sirens basically every day because of rockets from Gaza, Lebanon, Yemen. But this time is different because the Iranian regime is launching dozens of ballistic missiles at Israel in every barrage, trying to overwhelm Israel's defenses. And that means missiles are getting through. And today we woke up, not that anyone had much sleep overnight, to the news that 3 people were murdered overnight in Iranian ballistic missile attacks that hit residential buildings. Israel has a very effective protection system for the home front. First, we get an emergency alert on our phones saying, stay where you are, don't move, you might have to go to a rocket shelter. Then another alert saying a siren is coming, and then another alert saying the missiles are on their way, go to a rocket shelter now. And there is no panic. Israelis are trained. There is a quiet stoicism here, but certainly anxiety because we're dealing with a threat that we've never faced before. Direct missiles landing in the center of Tel Aviv. But it's a risk that Israel has decided we have to take because Iran going nuclear would be the worst possible scenario.
I also wanted to ask you, and you and I have talked about this before, but what is maybe one misconception or a few misconceptions and misunderstandings that people have about the situation that is ongoing there in Israel as we have these attacks coming from multiple fronts?
Yeah, we hear this sort of unhinged narrative coming out on the left, and I came across this in a debate on Al Arabiya just last night, that Israel is pursuing war for war's sake and is just bombing neighboring countries for no reason. The truth is that Israel wants to live in peace with its neighbors. The problem is Israel is surrounded by neighbors that don't want it to exist at all. The conflict we have with the Iranian regime is that Israel wants to exist, the Iranian regime doesn't want Israel to exist, and it's pursuing weapons of mass destruction to destroy the country completely. So the reason Israel is taking action against Iran is because the threat of a nuclear-armed Iran with tens of thousands of ballistic missiles is existential, and you can't downplay it. When the Iranian regime leads crowds in chants of death to Israel, when the leader, the supreme leader, calls Israel a cancer that must be eradicated, that's not just a slogan. It's not lip service. It's a plan. The Iranian regime filled the Middle East with proxy armies, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, so that one day it could use them to physically and literally destroy the state of Israel. And that is why Israel is taking action now, before it's too late, to stop it from getting nuclear weapons that it could use to wipe this country out.
One thing that stood out when Prime Minister Netanyahu was talking, he wanted to make it clear that Iran does have enough enriched uranium to make 9 atomic bombs, which when you hear that just sounds incredible. It sounds terrifying. So is that information that folks there knew before this, or is that new information that came out and shocked people?
The fact that Iran has enough highly enriched uranium to build several nuclear bombs is not new. It's public knowledge. The IAEA has already said Iran has 400 kilos of uranium enriched to 60% purity. Now, not to get into the weeds about the science, but that's near weapons grade. It's only a short hop to making it suitable for nuclear weapons. It would take Iran a week or two to convert it if they made the decision. What is new is that Israel says it identified accelerated movements towards weaponizing that uranium, that the Iranians are actively working on how to turn that uranium into a bomb. That's not something that the IAEA picked up on. That's something we know from Mossad because of how extensively it has penetrated Iran. And that shouldn't be surprising, because in 2007, when Israel destroyed Syria's nuclear reactor, and thank God Bashar al-Assad doesn't have nuclear weapons now, right? That information came to light because Mossad found out that the Syrians were building a nuclear reactor with the help of North Korea. The US didn't know about that. It was thanks to Israel's top-class intelligence that we found out about that threat of an authoritarian regime trying to build nuclear weapons. And now for the third time in history, Iraq in 1981, Syria in 2007, and now Iran, Israel is using its top intelligence to step in and save the world from a tyrannical regime getting weapons of mass destruction.
What we're looking at right now, I believe this is actually over in Israel. You can see the flags there on the right-hand side of your screen. To look at images like this, Elon, what goes through your mind as you're looking at something like this, knowing that 3 people at least have died as a result, been murdered, and you have so many others that are wounded, and there's the possibility of more of these attacks?
These scenes of destruction of residential buildings in Israel are, of course, alarming, because we know that when we have sirens and we have to run downstairs into the basement, into a bomb shelter, you don't know if there's going to be an apartment to come back to. It's not like the Houthi missiles that were almost all intercepted. Here, there's a very real risk that you run into the basement and you come back and your house will be bombed. And this is a reminder of the threat that the Iranian regime poses, not only if it got nuclear weapons, but also with its ballistic missiles that it has used to attack civilian areas, residential buildings. 3 people are murdered as a result, and one can only hope that the Iranians are not foolish enough to escalate even further. Israel is warning Iran has crossed a red line with these attacks on residential buildings, and the regime will pay a price.
One thing that's interesting is we are getting a lot of different quotes that are coming in from officials there in Israel over the last several hours here. And one said, quote, "The way to Tehran has been paved." Do we know exactly what that means?
The Iranian regime had a strategy. That strategy was to surround Israel with a ring of fire, of proxy armies that destabilized countries in the region and would protect Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Assad regime. Those have all crumbled. The Assad regime is no longer there. Israel controls the skies of Lebanon, and Israel has basically taken out most of Iran's air defenses, although it still has surface-to-air missiles. So Israel still needs to destroy Iranian surface-to-air missile batteries, and then Israel will have a clear path for fighter jets all the way to Iran with nothing to stop it along the way. And I think it's clear that while the first day of the attack did target Iranian nuclear facilities, Israel has put a lot of effort into destroying Iran's missiles and its ability to shoot down planes to make sure that it cannot interfere when Israel proceeds to destroy the rest of the nuclear program, because this isn't the end, this is just the beginning.
All right. Eylon Levy, thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to join us
Thank you,
here.
Josh.
Anything else that you want to add about any of this before I let you go?
I would say Israelis, used to being attacked on multiple fronts, desperately appreciate every message of support they get from around the world. People just checking in to say, I saw the news, I hope you're okay. So I would say any viewers, if you have any friends in Israel or any Jewish friends in the United States who have family in Israel, just send them a message and tell them you're thinking of them.
All right. Eylon, thank you again for taking the time to join us, and of course, stay safe.
Thank you, Josh. I'll do my best.
It is now 7:11 on the East Coast and 4:11 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here for the next couple hours to bring you all of your top stories and live events from across the country and across the world. Again, we do have a lot of different live images that are coming in, and I will tell you this shot is kind of going to several different images, so it's not clear if this is Tel Aviv or another nearby location, but it is one spot that was struck by some of the missiles there that were fired during 4 rounds of strikes by Iran on Israel just yesterday. The aerial dome, of course, overwhelmed because there were so many missiles that were fired. Sadly, 3 people have died as a result, and we do know that there are dozens of other injuries, so sadly that death toll could continue to rise. We're going to head to a quick break here at 7:12 on the East Coast, 4:12 on the West Coast. It is Saturday, June 14th, and we will be right back with more live coverage.
You guys unpacked your room yet?
A lot of Americans think they'll never afford a home. Instead of lowering expectations, we've lowered down payments, helping more renters become owners. 1% down payments with One Plus from Rocket Mortgage. Get started at rocket.com.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, 7:14 on the East Coast and 4:14 on the West Coast. We do continue to cover the latest here, everything relating to the Iran-Israel conflict. And as far as developments go, we have received a lot of them overnight. Just hours before Israel's strikes, Iran had said that it was going to activate a third nuclear enrichment facility. And that followed a United Nations watchdog group censuring Iran for failing to comply with non-proliferation obligations. What you're looking at right now is the damage that was left behind there from some of those attacks. We're talking 4 rounds of attacks that did take place from Iran into Israel over the course of hours. Late last night into early on this morning, and that is why several of the folks that we've spoken to in that area have said as nightfall approaches, they are bracing for the possibility of more attacks and more scenes just like this one. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying that his military planned for months, quote, to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival, while President Trump urged Iran to make a deal, quote, before it is too late. The U.S. is warning Iran and its proxies not to target Americans. McCoy Pitt, the senior official in the U.S. State Department Bureau of International Organization Affairs, telling an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council that the, quote, consequences for Iran would be dire. Pitt said, quote, let me be crystal clear. No government, proxy, or independent actor should target American citizens, American bases, or other American infrastructure in the region. He added that President Trump wants an end to the violence and for Iran to reach a nuclear deal. Pitt added, quote, the United States will continue to seek a diplomatic resolution that ensures Iran will never acquire a nuclear weapon or pose a threat to stability in the Middle East. Iran's leadership would be wise to negotiate at this time. Iran's foreign ministry arguing that Israel's offensive sabotaged diplomacy talks with the U.S., claiming negotiations are now, quote unquote, meaningless. We heard from a foreign ministry spokesperson who said, quote, the other side acted in a way that rendered dialogue meaningless. One cannot claim to pursue negotiations while simultaneously allowing a genocidal regime to target Iran's territorial integrity. The spokesperson also said it is, quote, unimaginable that Israel would carry out these attacks without U.S. approval. Quote, Israel's wish has always been to entangle Western parties in crisis, and this time it seems it has again succeeded in derailing diplomacy. Again, looking at some of the aftermath here over in one Israeli neighborhood. We are keeping an eye on the situation and we'll make sure to bring you updates here as we get them. In the meantime, we did hear from Danny Danon. He is the U.S. envoy there, or Israeli envoy, I should say, to the United Nations. And he had a lot to say about the situation as he spoke to that special meeting of the Security Council. I do want to pop up the audio here and listen to those fairly brief comments.
First, I would like to thank USG DiCarlo and Director General Grossi. Madam President, Israel has acted to prevent its destruction, and the world now stands at a crossroad between denial and clarity. This is not only a defining moment for Israel, it is a defining moment for the global security order and for the credibility of the international system. As we speak, hundreds of ballistic missiles with conventional payloads are striking Israel's cities, neighborhoods, communities. They are striking population centers, not military bases, not Air Force bases, cities. Dozens are injured, 2 of them in a critical condition, and we are still following the news. Now take a moment and imagine if today that radical regime had nuclear warheads for those missiles. Last night, the State of Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a preemptive military operation carried out with precision, purpose, and the most advanced intelligence at our disposal. The mission was very clear: dismantle Iran's nuclear program, eliminate the architects of of its terror and aggression and neutralize the regime's ability to follow through on its repeated public promise to destroy the state of Israel. For years, Iran has declared its intent. Its leaders have spoken without hesitation. Less than a month ago, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei called a quote, cancerous tumor that must be eradicated. IRGC commanders have vowed to, quote, open the gates of hell on Israel. This is a picture from the main square in Tehran. The streets of Tehran display a countdown clock. At the time of the photo, you can see it in Arabic, it was at 8,411 days. It is tracking the regime's planned timeline for Israel's destruction, paid by the government, putting it in the main squares in Tehran. These threats have been made on a near-daily basis. Never again will we dismiss such threats. For too long, the world convinced itself that these were just words, that genocidal slogans and threats to erase us could be ignored or rationalized. But Israel has never had that luxury. We know our enemies. We know their ideology. And when a regime builds ballistic missiles, enriches uranium to near weapons grade, and openly declares its intent to destroy us, we believe them. We take them at their word. And we take action before it is too late. Colleagues, Israel did not act recklessly. We waited. We waited while Iran enriched uranium to 60%, a level with no civilian justification, and a level that brings the regime within days of a nuclear breakout. We waited while the IAEA reported that Iran had obstructed inspectors, destroyed monitoring equipment, and accelerated its covert special development program. We waited while Iran developed trigger mechanisms, detonation systems, and plans for warheads. We waited while its leadership actively recruited more nuclear scientists. We waited while Iran constructed a ballistic missile industry so large and sophisticated, and we can expose it now, that it was intended to challenge even the US and Russia in ballistic missile capabilities. They cannot deny it. We waited for diplomacy to work. We gave the international community time. We watched negotiations stretched on as Iran made forced concessions or refused the most fundamental conditions. All the while, Iran continued to build toward the unthinkable. Last night, the wait ended. Our operation targeted 3 layers of the threat. First, we eliminated the central figures of Iran's military and nuclear command. This included Mohammad Hossein Bagheri, chief of the armed forces, Hossein Salami, commander of the IRGC terror organization, and Ghulam Ali Rashid, commander of emergency command. These men directed Iran's conventional military forces and terror forces. They coordinated the terror network that has plagued our region for decades. Think how many meetings you had here about the proxies of Iran in Yemen, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Gaza. Second, we struck Iran's military infrastructure, specifically the surface-to-surface missile array. Israeli Air Force fighter jets, guided by precise intelligence, completed a series of strikes against the Iranian regime's missile capabilities. Dozens of launchers, missile storage facilities, and additional military sites were destroyed. Late last year, Iran launched wave after wave of ballistic missiles at our cities. They deliberately targeted civilians. The destruction of these missile systems is a moral imperative. These are weapons with the capacity to reach thousands of kilometers. Leaving them in the hands of a radical regime, one that openly dreamed of wiping our nation off the map, was not an option. We will not hesitate. We will not relent. And we will not allow a genocidal regime to endanger our people. Third, we struck the core of the nuclear program, the underground enrichment facilities at Natanz. This facility was operating at a military-grade capacity. Intelligence confirmed that within days, Iran could have produced enough material for multiple bombs. We targeted the heart of that effort. Madam President, this operation was carried out because the alternative was unthinkable. How long did the world expect us to wait? How long? Let's speak about it. Until they assembled the bomb? Until they mounted it on a Shahab missile? Until it was en route to Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, like the more than 100 missiles that they sent an hour ago? How long should we wait? And if anyone in this chamber still believes Iran would never use such a weapon, I invite you to remember October 7. On that day, we saw what Iran's proxy Hamas was capable of. And then in Gaza, they did it with Kalashnikovs, with grenades. They butchered families, they burned children alive, they mutilated women. Imagine what the head of the snake would do with a nuclear warhead. To that end, we uncovered intelligence revealing a multi-front plan directed by Iran, Hezbollah, and Hamas for a future assault on Israel. This one would be far more sophisticated than October 7. It envisioned mass missile launches, first from Iran, then from Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen, followed by coordinated infiltrations of our borders. The plan was not aspirational. It was operational.
And that right there was Danny Danon as he did address the United Nations Security Council, speaking there about the situation that is ongoing, the latest on the Israel-Iran conflict. We, of course, are going to have live coverage all throughout the morning and bring you all of the latest information, as we did learn from officials there in Israel that at least 3 people have now died during the 4 rounds of strikes that were carried out by Iran on Israel yesterday. We also know from Iranian officials that more than 70 people died as a result of the initial preemptive strikes that took place from Israel on Thursday night into Friday morning. Right now, we do have these live images that I do want to show you right here. This is coming from one Israeli neighborhood where you can see the aftermath of the rocket fire. 4 rounds fired by Iran, 3 deaths reported, several injuries, and it is likely that death toll, sadly, could rise. Going to head to a quick commercial break here, 7:28 on the East Coast and 4:28 on the West Coast. Much more live coverage coming up in just a few.
Minnie likes a little treat now and then. Max likes living large. That's why they both love scratch-offs, because they can play the way that fits their style. Win a little or a lot with these new scratch-off games from the Kentucky Lottery.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, 7:31 on the East Coast and 4:31 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here for the next couple hours to bring you all of your top stories and live events from across the country and across the world. All throughout the morning, of course, our coverage of the Israel-Iran conflict will continue here on Live Now from Fox. But I do want to head over to D.C. for our next story, and it's a story that we have been covering here really over the past several weeks, as you are looking at a live look over Washington, D.C. that is courtesy EarthCam. And today, of course, is going to be that big parade that takes place to honor the 250th birthday or anniversary of the U.S. Army. It is a huge event, and we also know it is marking the 79th birthday of President Donald Trump. I do want to discuss a little bit more about the security aspect here, what folks can expect if they are headed out there. We do have Matt McCool, the special agent in charge with the U.S. Secret Service Washington Field Office. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us this morning.
Thank you, Josh. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And I know you do have a very busy day ahead. So can you kind of explain to me what the Secret Service's mission is here and the involvement in this 250th anniversary parade? This is, as I mentioned, a huge event.
Yeah, it's a very large event. It's a national special security event. And so with that designation that was given by the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Secret Service is responsible for designing, planning, and implementing the comprehensive security plan that's going to be out there today. We work as a team with our partners from federal, state, and local to make this happen. It is a huge lift, but one that we have done many times before. In fact, this is our 85th and our 5th one in 6 months. So we've gotten some repetitions in, so we're ready for today, and we're excited.
And I did want to ask, how long does your team plan for something like this? Again, huge situation that is unfolding. We're talking about a lot of traffic, both vehicles and foot traffic there. A lot of people who just want to take part in it. So is this kind of a year-long prep?
So typically it is about a year-long prep, 6 months to a year and sometimes longer. For an inauguration, we have 4 years to get ready. But for this one, it's been since April 23rd. So this will be probably our quickest one. But given that we've had 5 and 6 months, we've been planning an NSSE for the past really year and a half, nonstop. But this is a shorter time frame than normal. But everybody in D.C. from our partners, they know the drill, and so we're ready.
And I know at this point, you mentioned coordination and all of that, and I know you can't go into too much detail because, again, you're the U.S. Secret Service, but are there any unique security concerns given the size of this milestone event, as well as even the situation that's going on in the Middle East?
So, again, being a national special security event, all threats that we perceive, all threats that we come up with through intelligence, we mitigate before the event occurs. So with respect to all the stuff that's going on in the Middle East and all the stuff that is going on in LA, of course, our intelligence folks are keeping a close eye on what's going on there. But truthfully, we mitigated those threats beforehand in the planning process. So we have 18.5 miles of anti-scale fencing. We have 17 miles of bike rack. We have 175 magnetometers. We have thousands of federal, state, and local law enforcement that will be working today. So all those threats have been mitigated. I feel super confident. The partners that we work with here every day in D.C., it's a one-team atmosphere, and we're ready.
What should spectators, folks there in Washington, D.C. in general, expect to see out there if they are going to head to the event itself?
So they're going to see a lot of road closures, a lot of areas that are part of our perimeter. They must go through magnetometers. So if you're coming, go to 12th Street, get in the queue, and go through the mags on 14th. If you're coming from the north of Constitution, you want to go to C Street between 18th and 19th. And if you're going to the festival, you want to go to 7th Street between Independence and Constitution. We're hoping that the lines won't be too bad. We have a ton of magnetometers out there. Everybody that comes into our perimeter, 100% will be magged. So folks can feel safe when they come, and that's the goal. We want to protect all the participants, everybody viewing the parade, and of course our protectees.
And on that same note here, before I let you go, what advice do you want to give for folks who are going to head out there, who might be planning to attend this, or maybe are just at home, but they're in the area of Washington, D.C.?
Plan ahead. Take a look at the website, nssc.dc.gov. It has the prohibited items list on there. Don't bring any big bags. They will not be allowed in. And come and have a good time. Bring water, bring appropriate clothing. The weather, hopefully the rain's gonna work with us. But looking forward to a great day. It should be an enjoyable day. What's more important to celebrate than 250 years of our Army? So we're very honored to be part of it, and we're hoping for a great day.
Yeah, huge milestone there. Matt McCool with the Secret Service Washington Field Office, Special Agent in Charge. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Anything that I forgot? Anything you want to add here before I let you go?
I would just add, if there's anybody out there that's planning to come to disrupt this event, pay attention to the signs. If anybody tries to, come into our secure perimeter, and it is a part of our security, there's going to be consequences. So do not try and do that. So that's just my message to those folks out there that may want to come and try and disrupt.
Awesome.
They will be arrested.
Yeah, no, good advice there. Make sure you know that there's a lot of law enforcement there. Thank you again for taking the time to be here. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.
And of course, I do want to remind you that we are going to have extensive coverage today. We'll be checking in on those developments with our Fox 5 DC team, but also important to note that our big coverage will start at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have Mike Pace in the hot seat here to bring you all of the events that take place live, unfiltered, uninterrupted, all of it. That military parade live, President Trump hosting the U.S. Army's 250th birthday celebration. It also coincides with President Trump's 79th birthday. So a huge crowd there is expected. Watch it all from the comfort of your couch or wherever you want to, right here on Live Now from Fox. It is 7:38 on the East Coast and 4:38 on the West Coast. Going to head to a quick break, but so much more coverage here as we continue to follow the latest coming in out of the Middle East. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Okay, if there's one AI site builder you need to meet, it's this dope tech from Wix. Now this whole flow is a conversation, so your words actually build your website. I'm going for a store, and after a free flowing conversation, I get this detailed site brief. And just like that, my first draft is ready. Now that's dope. Next, you can really get in there and style it your way. Here's the fun part. You can regenerate this whole thing over and over, or you can tweak something specific like your layout. Let me describe what I had in mind. Yeah, that's fire. If there was ever a time to speak life into your dreams, it's right now using the Wix AI website builder.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, 740 on the East Coast and 440 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here for the next several hours to bring you all of your top stories and live events from across the country and across the world, and a lot going on here as we do follow the latest on the Israel-Iran conflict. I do want to take you out to some of the live images that we do have coming in this morning. And as you can see, this is actually an Israeli neighborhood that was hit by one of the 4 rounds of rocket fire shot by Iran toward Israel just yesterday over the course of several hours, lasting last night into very early this morning. Sadly, we have learned from officials there that at least 3 people in Israel have died as a result of the rocket fire, and unfortunately that number could rise, as we do know that several other people were critically injured as a result of the attack. But again, what you are looking at right here is just some of the aftermath. Now, we also have some of the other images that give us a bit more of a wide view. As you can see, Tel Aviv, this image here, everything looking fairly quiet, but we have spoken with a lot of different people in the area who tell us that essentially they're remaining on high alert as there is that major potential of more of those strikes from Iran happening in Israel as we get closer to nightfall. As of course, we did see basically everything happen yesterday when it was already dark out. Again, we're keeping an eye on the situation, keeping an eye on those tweets that are coming in and ex-posts from Israel Defense Forces, just about everyone else. I want to pop this one up on your screen here because the Israel Defense Forces posting this image a bit earlier that does show the map of the areas that were hit. And they did say eliminated 9 senior scientists and experts responsible for advancing the Iranian regime's nuclear weapons program. All of the eliminated scientists and experts eliminated based on intelligence were key factors in the development of Iranian nuclear weapons. We know that some of those nuclear sites were hit during Israel's initial preemptive strike that took place Thursday night into early Friday morning. We did hear during the UN Security Council meeting from the officials there with the Atomic Energy Agency, who gave a very brief update. But I do want to play that for you here as they kind of detail some of that damage.
Early this morning, the IAEA was informed of the military operation launched by Israel, which includes, as Undersecretary General Di Carlo was just informing, which includes attacks on nuclear facilities in the Islamic Republic of Iran. As I reported this morning to the IAEA Board of Governors, we have been in permanent contact with the Iran Nuclear Regulatory Authority to ascertain the status of relevant nuclear facilities and to assess any wider impacts on nuclear safety and security. Iran confirmed that initially only the Natanz fuel enrichment plant had been attacked in today's strikes. This facility contains the fuel enrichment plant and the pilot fuel enrichment plant. At Natanz, the above-ground part of the pilot fuel enrichment plant, where Iran was producing uranium enriched up to 60% uranium-235, has been destroyed. Electricity infrastructure at the facility, an electrical substation, main electric power supply building, emergency power supply, and backup generators have also been destroyed. There is no indication of a physical attack on the underground cascade hall containing part of the pilot fuel enrichment plant and the main fuel enrichment plant. However, the loss of power to the cascade may have damaged the centrifuges there. The level of radioactivity outside the Natanz site has remained unchanged and at normal levels, indicating no external radiological impact to the population or the environment from this event. However, due to the impacts, there is radiological and chemical contamination inside the facilities at Natanz. The type of radiation present inside the facility, primarily alpha particles, is manageable with appropriate radiation protection measures. At present, the Iranian authorities are informing us of attacks on two other facilities, namely the Fordo fuel enrichment plant and at Isfahan, where fuel plate fabrication plant, a fuel manufacturing plant, a uranium conversion facility, and an enriched UO2 powder plant are located. However, Madam President, I have to inform that at this moment, we do not have enough information beyond indicating that military activity has been taken place around these facilities as well, which initially had not, I repeat, had not been part of the military operation. But now there is enough information for me to say to you that these facilities are also concerned. All these developments, Madam President and dear colleagues, are deeply concerning. I have repeatedly stated that nuclear facilities must never be attacked, regardless of the context or circumstances, as it could harm both people and the environment. Such attacks have serious implications for nuclear security, nuclear safety, and safeguards, as well as regional and international peace and security. In this regard, as I also reminded the Board of Governors of the IAEA, there are numerous General Conference resolutions on the topic of military attacks against nuclear facilities, in particular resolutions General Conference 444 or 533, which indicated that any armed attack or and threat against nuclear facilities devoted to peaceful purposes is a violation of the principles of the Charter, international law, and the statute of the agency. Madam President, dear colleagues, as Director General of the IAEA and consistent with the objectives of the IAEA and our statute, I call on all parties to exercise maximum restraint to avoid further escalation. I reiterate that any military action that jeopardizes safety and security of nuclear facilities risk grave consequences for the people of Iran, the region, and beyond. You were evoking, or Madam Undersecretary General was evoking, that yesterday the Board of Governors of the IAEA adopted an important resolution on Iran's safeguards obligations. But in addition to this, the board resolution stressed its support for a diplomatic solution to the problems posed by the Iranian nuclear program. The IAEA continues to monitor the situation closely. Our Incident and Emergency Center has maintained continuous contact with Iranian authorities from the onset of the attack, regularly confirming the status of the facilities, and will continue to do so in the coming days. Additionally, we have established a task force comprising several senior staff members to monitor the situation closely over the next few days, and they will be available 24/7, of course, at the disposal of the United Nations Security Council, as it should be. The IAEA stands ready to provide technical assistance and remains committed to its nuclear safety, security, and safeguards mandate in all circumstances. I stand ready to engage with all relevant parties to help ensure the protection of nuclear facilities and the continued peaceful use of nuclear technology in accordance with our mandate, including deploying agency nuclear security and safety experts, in addition to our safeguards inspectors already present in Iran, wherever necessary, to ensure that nuclear installations are fully protected and continue to be used exclusively for peaceful purposes. As I informed today the IAEA Board of Governors, Madam President, I have indicated to the respective authorities my readiness to travel at the earliest to assess the situation and ensure safety, security, and non-proliferation in Iran. I have also been in contact with our inspectors in Iran and Israel. The safety of our staff is, of course, of paramount importance. All necessary actions are being taken to ensure they are not harmed. Despite the current military actions and heightened tensions, it is clear that the only sustainable path forward for Iran, for Israel, the entire region, and the international community is one grounded in dialogue and diplomacy to ensure peace, stability, and cooperation. The IAEA, as the international technical institution entrusted with overseeing the peaceful use of nuclear energy, remains a unique and vital forum for dialogue, especially now. In accordance with its statute and long-standing mandate, the IAEA provides the framework and natural platform where facts prevail over rhetoric and where engagement can replace escalation. I reaffirm my personal and the agency's readiness to facilitate technical discussions and support efforts that promote transparency, safety, security, and the peaceful resolution of nuclear-related issues in Iran. I thank you very much, Madam President.
All right, there you have it. The head of the IAEA, which is the International Atomic Energy Agency, discussing a little bit more about the impact from that initial preemptive strike that did happen from Israel into Iran. It was Thursday night into early Friday morning. And as we know, Iran did fire back with 4 rounds that killed 3 people in Israel, as well as injured dozens of others. Sadly, that death toll could continue to rise. We do have to step away for our final 2-minute commercial break of the hour here, but a lot more coverage coming up in just a few. My name is Josh Breslow, and you're watching Live Now from Fox. Don't go anywhere.
This is the story of the one. The one knows the unexpected can put everything on the line. But with a teammate like Granger, she's confident that she will always win the day. Call, click, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. We are approaching the top of the hour right now, 7:56 on the East Coast and 4:56 on the West Coast. It is Saturday, June 14th. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here to bring you all of your top stories and live events from across the country and across the world. And no question, we do continue to cover the latest developments here on the Israel-Iran conflict. I do want to take you out to this post here, just coming in from Trey Yingst over at Fox News. He has been on the ground following all of the latest developments here. He posted statement from Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei provided to Fox News by an Iranian official. Quote, "The armed forces will bring the vile regime to ruin. They will not escape unscathed from this crime. The Iranian nation can be assured there will be no negligence." Now, it's important to note that it appears he is talking about Israel, but hey, could be including the U.S. there, as we know that the U.S. did assist in shooting down some of the rockets, missiles that were fired by Iran over at Israel. Taking a live look here at just some of the latest details that are coming in. We know that Israel has confirmed that at least 3 people have died after 4 rounds of attacks from Iran. You're looking at a live image from one Israeli neighborhood decimated by rocket fire. And we know, as I mentioned, that the U.S. did help to shoot down some of those rockets, missiles, all of it. Iran's ambassador to the United Nations Security Council saying that Israel's attacks killed at least 78 people, including top commanders and nuclear scientists, while more than 300 others were injured. He told the Security Council that the overwhelming majority of victims were civilians, though, of course, there is dispute over the facts there that are coming in. Israel struck nuclear enrichment sites and a refinery, killing leading nuclear scientists. I believe the last number we had was 9 of them, according to the Israel Defense Forces. Now, Iran's ballistic missile arsenal was also targeted, and 3 of Iran's top military leaders were, quote unquote, eliminated. As you can see, they are speaking with some of the folks out there right now. Of course, we know that is not in English at this point, but if at any point we see that transition over to English, we will make sure to bring that to you. Also have live images right here over Tel Aviv at this hour. And I do want to bring in Jonathan Schanzer, the executive director at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, to talk more about everything that is happening there right now. Jonathan, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I know you are working to stay safe there along with the other folks there. So thank you again for being here.
My pleasure. Good to be with you.
All right, so first off, I do want to ask you, I've spoken with many experts throughout the morning who are there in Israel, and I want to get your take on what the situation has been like there over the last 24 to 36 hours.
Sure. I mean, well, it started 3 a.m. here yesterday where we were all, called out of bed, sirens were blaring, and we immediately went to shelter and found out that it was sort of a false alarm. What they were doing is basically saying we started this war, and they were waiting to see if there was an Iranian response. There was not one. But then, throughout the day and certainly into last night, we were forced into shelter multiple times. As you noted, there were 3 or 4 different pretty significant rounds of ballistic missile fire. There were a number of direct hits. I'm in Jerusalem. I didn't hear any of it. There was at around 5:30 this morning, one interception in the skies over Jerusalem, but I don't think the missile was headed here. It looks like right now the Iranian regime is really trying to focus its fire on strategic military infrastructure in primarily, I think, the Tel Aviv area, although they, I think, are probably also trying to target a couple of air bases where the aircraft are taking off as they head east to strike Iranian targets. That has happened, over the course of several hours. That is typically happening at night. That's when the regime is able to pull its ballistic missiles out of their silos under the cover of darkness and fire them at Israel. But in the meantime, the Israelis are working around the clock, striking these military targets, striking these strategic targets, nuclear scientists, military officials, as you noted, a long list of them here. The Israelis are working 24/7. It doesn't matter whether it's dark or light out. This much we know. We're getting a lot of updates about ballistic missile silos, ballistic missile launchers. What the Israelis appear to be trying to do right now is just to minimize the regime's ability to fire at the state of Israel. And so even as the Iranian nuclear program remains their top priority because they're trying to neutralize all of the advances that the regime has made, I think there is now probably an equal concern about trying to protect the 10 million citizens of this tiny country some 1,000 miles away.
And on that same note, on the left-hand side of your screen, there are some of the quotes that have come in over the past several hours. You had Israel's defense minister saying, quote, Tehran will burn if Iran fires more rockets. And then you also have the Israeli Air Force chief saying Israel, quote, will continue to damage Iranian targets. So it seems as though, as you were kind of discussing there, there's no end in sight to this mission. The retaliatory attacks by Iran have not posed, I guess, any issue for Israel to say, look, we need to back off and stop this, right?
No, and I think the sense that I get here from what I'm picking up in the media and the folks that I've talked to is that, there are very specific objectives in this mission. And, I think if you start, up at the top, it was to prevent an Iranian nuclear breakout. And I think the Israelis have likely succeeded in thwarting that, although there is still significant nuclear infrastructure that I think they're going to be hitting. And I think just about every major nuclear site has now been struck. Not all of them are sustaining major damage, but I think the Israelis are at this point trying to assess how much they can damage and set back these sites. And then on top of that, they're going for the senior leadership. This is about decapitation, and I think they're not done there either. Even though they've gotten a lot of the IRGC officials, they've got the nuclear scientists, they've got nuclear officials, they've got military officials. They've done a lot of that, but I think there are more. I'm sure they're hunting for more. And then again, ballistic missiles, the ballistic missile storage facilities. Launchers, by the way, are huge because they have to be put up on a launcher in order for those missiles to get over here in the first place. The more of those launchers that Israel can take out, the safer they're going to be. But I think really what we're watching right now is an attempt to defang the Islamic Republic of Iran on multiple levels. And, as I heard an Israeli official talk about, this was back in January, the idea is to change the trajectory I mean, no less than changing the trajectory of the entire Middle East. The Israelis have long believed that a shadow has been cast over this country by Iran, that all their proxies, many of those have been destroyed now, all their military capabilities, many of those are being destroyed at this moment. They needed to get rid of all of that. I thought when I heard that some 3, 4, 5 months ago, that was sort of pie in the sky thinking. They are actually trying to follow through on this. And I think they're not likely to stop until they believe that they are safe and that maybe even the rest of the region is safe too.
One thing I did want to ask, and I'm not sure if you can provide any context on it, but a lot of people have asked, how do the militaries compare when you talk about Israel versus Iran? Is there a comparison that can be made when it comes to strength and other factors?
Well, I mean, I will say, you know, the Iranians have capabilities, but up until recently, it was primarily asymmetric capabilities, right? They had Hamas and they had Hezbollah and the Houthis and Shiite militias in Iraq and Syria, and they had rockets, mid-range, long-range, short-range, that they were able to fire at Israel, and they could kind of pin down the Israelis. It was suppressing fire almost. Now, that has all changed over the course of the last 600 plus days after the war erupted on October 7th of 2023. The Israelis eviscerated the vast majority of those proxies. Really, the only one that seems to have any firepower left are the Houthis out of Yemen. And even then, you don't see a lot of rockets or missiles, rather, coming out of Yemen. There is no air force in Iran. Whatever was left of it, the Israelis destroyed on the first day of these strikes. They still have ballistic missiles, and this is something that the Israelis don't really have. They don't have a missile corps. It's something that I think we're probably going to see the Israelis develop over time. They have these Jericho missiles. These are large, long-range missiles, but the Israelis have never, I don't think they've ever brought them out in wartime, at least not yet. So they're vastly different militaries, especially when you now look at what the Israelis are doing with their F-35s. They have U.S. platforms, advanced aircraft, advanced missile defense. They just, I think, right now seem to be a lot stronger. I think when you look at the disadvantage, though, for Israel, it's the size. This is a tiny, tiny country, smaller than the state of New Jersey. Iran is twice the size of the state of Texas. And so as the Iranians are trying to fend off these attacks, it's a little bit easier because the Israelis have to cover so much more ground, and it requires the Israelis not just to fire off a missile, but they have to send their aircraft and their pilots and possibly refueling planes and other aircraft that could maybe do electronic warfare. They have to do all of that. They've got to fly 1,000 miles away in order to do it. So there is a burden on the Israelis as they do this. But again, they're using U.S. platforms, advanced technologies, and I do think that at least as of right now, they have absolutely got the upper hand. Now that all can change in a hot minute here with one ballistic missile striking an important strategic target. And that's why what's happening at night, what happened last night in particular, is so important. These air defenses are critical for Israel.
I want to get your take on this statement here. Trey Yingst with Fox News, a statement from Iran's supreme leader provided to Fox, quote, "The armed forces will bring the vile regime to ruin. They will not escape unscathed from this crime. The Iranian nation can be assured there will be no negligence." What do you make of that?
Well, it's a lot of bluster. I mean, you had the supreme leader, as they call him, get up at his Friday sermon yesterday and, you know, vowed to destroy the state of Israel. And as I was sort of joking on X, on formerly Twitter, it must be Friday. I mean, this is no different than the kind of rhetoric that the Iranian regime has been using when they talk about Israel. This has been going on since 1979. So I think we need to understand that when they talk about destroying Israel, it's kind of hard to take this more seriously than any of the other ways they've called for the state of Israel. I mean, heck, they have a clock in downtown Tehran that's supposed to be a countdown to the day that Israel is destroyed in the year 2040. This has been kind of a key pillar of the rhetoric of the Islamic Republic. And so I don't take this any more seriously than any of the rest of this. But I will say that cumulatively, when you look at that rhetoric that the regime has been spouting over time, plus the proxies, plus what an apparent attempt to make a dash to a nuclear weapon, This is exactly why the Israelis have decided to act preemptively. That when the Israelis hear that the regime is hell-bent on their destruction, and they see the regime taking steps in order to try to actualize their vision, that's when the Israelis say, sorry, we're not going to succumb to this. We're not going to allow that to happen. And this explains, in essence, what the Israelis started a day and a half ago at 3 a.m. Local time. They just said enough was enough.
One thing you mentioned here, and I don't want to go too far into the weeds, but it did stick out to me because actually I hadn't heard it before, was this clock that you were talking about there, counting down, I believe you said, to 2040. What can you tell me about that? Because I know I hadn't heard about that, and it's possible maybe others haven't as well.
Sure. I mean, this is a clock. I don't remember exactly when they established this, but it's a landmark in Tehran. And it's part of the vision of the Islamic Republic that within the lifetime of most Iranians, they will see the destruction of what they call the Zionist entity. They will see the destruction of the state of Israel. And again, this is part of the propaganda that the regime has been putting out there. They talk about it all the time. This is the ideology that they imbue with their proxies. Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, they all talk about the destruction of the state of Israel. They've tried in many ways to be the leaders of the Muslim world. And if and I think it's important to understand this, the Iranians represent their sect of Islam, the Shia in Islam. It's a 20% minority within the Muslim world. And they've sort of tried to lead the way on the destruction of Israel. Israel has actually just delivered a crippling blow to that narrative. And I think the rest of the Muslim world, the Arab world, they're watching right now. And I think they're beginning to understand that this was really not a good idea for the regime to push all their chips in the middle of the table and for them to try to pursue this vision of sorts. I think it's now blowing back on them, obviously, in a big way. They've sustained serious damage from Israel. And again, I get the sense that the Israelis are not done. They are trying to deliver a pretty stern message here right now. And I think that message is being received.
My last question for you here. Are there concerns as we look live at some of the damage to one Israeli neighborhood? We've seen scenes like this in different areas as a result of the 4 rounds of rocket fire there from Iran. Are there concerns about the aerial defense systems being overwhelmed by the situation that we've seen and what could happen in the future? Or is that just what you would expect, that not every different missile rocket can be intercepted?
Look, there is no system, and the Israelis say it here all the time. I've been watching all of the guidance from Home Front Command, from the IDF. They consistently reinforce no air defense system is hermetic. I will just note that the Arrow system, the Arrow missile defense system that the Israelis have, is actually, as I understand it, working at around 90%, which is excellent. And then there's the THAAD, which is the U.S. system that's been deployed. And that has been actually less effective. I understand that it's been like 60 or 70% effective. So the Israelis have terrific technology. You're buttressing that with the United States technology. There's a lot that's being shot down. But I think the important thing for folks to remember here, when you sort of look at the broader cadence of the war, and I think this is really important. The Israelis right now, while it's daylight, they are hunting for these missiles. They're hunting for the silos. They're hunting for the launchers. They are trying to destroy as many of those capabilities that Iran has as humanly possible. This will cut down on the need to deploy air defenses. It will lessen the likelihood of more missiles coming through. It is a numbers game right now, and I can't tell you what the numbers are. I don't think the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, I don't think they have provided those, and I certainly don't expect the Iranians to provide them either. But I think, the low-end estimate at the beginning of this round of hostilities was that the regime had something like 2,000 plus ballistic missiles in their arsenal. I understand that they probably popped off about 100, 150 of them last night, maybe more. I understand that there may have been some measures taken by the Israelis to ensure, maybe some cyber measures to ensure that there were some false launches. Those would have destroyed, let's say, another 50 or another 100. And then there's what the Israelis are knocking out on the ground. And I don't know how to quantify those. But my sense is that we're probably going to have several more days, more likely actually nights of this, where the Iranians are firing missiles. Israel's going to try to defend them. Israel will sustain damage along the lines of these photos that you're seeing right now on your screen. These things are inevitable. This is a war. Israel has sustained damage in the south of the country from Hamas. They've sustained damage to the north of the country from Hezbollah. They've sustained occasional damage from the Houthis when they fired their one-off ballistic missiles. But when you have these large barrages, that's when I think you're going to see more and more get through. For me, the big thing that I'm watching is, where do they get through? And here I think the Iranians are learning from their mistakes. You got to remember, these guys are not used to popping off ballistic missiles at the rate that they are. But as they're doing it, they're getting a representative sample. They're learning what's working and what's not. And so that's, I think, what's most frightening to Israelis right now, is that they're honing some of these skills. And with any luck, though, on the Israeli side, they're honing their air defense skills as well, and they're preparing for whatever is coming next. But that's the cadence of this war right now. But I do think it's worth pointing out here, Josh, that you have the Israelis, really going for very targeted. They're trying to hit things that are strategic, and they're being very precise with their weapons. I think on the Iranian side, you see a lot more, right? The photos that you've seen are homes that are being destroyed, apartment buildings that are being destroyed. You can tell by the numbers you mentioned early on that, there were 78 people killed in Iran over the last day and a half, and 340 something people injured. The vast majority of those have been at military sites. From what I understand last night, that the injuries that we had here in Israel, some 70 people, 3 killed. I've only heard right now 7 soldiers injured. Everybody else has been a civilian. So you get a sense of kind of the way that this war is being fought by both sides. Some of it may be about capability, but I think from the Iranian regime's perspective, when they talk about destroying an entire country, it certainly looks like intent.
All right, Jonathan Schanzer there at the Foundation for Defensive Democracies. Obviously a lot to cover, so we just hit kind of a little of it. But thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. Anything else you want to add, anything we missed that you want to make sure to get out there?
The only thing I could maybe add to all of this is just the human element of what's going on here. Right before I came on air with you, I was watching a spokeswoman from the Homefront Command just trying to tell people to leave their homes, to go outside, to see some sunlight, to breathe some fresh air while things were still calm. And I do get the sense that they're trying to think about the psychological well-being of the 10 million people that are here, that have really, they've had to stay so close to shelter or stay in shelter. There is obviously a lot of trauma here right now. And it's fascinating for me I've never been here during such a sustained attack of this nature. It's been fascinating to watch how the public here has adapted. They have been through a lot over the last 600 days. They're still going through a lot here now, but the morale here is really remarkable. And that's what's standing out to me at this moment.
Understandable. And Jonathan, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And please stay safe out there.
Thanks a lot.
All right, everybody, the time now 8:17 on the East Coast, and it is 5:17 on the West Coast on this Saturday, June 14th. My name is Josh Breslow, and we will continue to cover everything here related to the Iran-Israel conflict that does continue here. We are going to head to a quick break, but in 2 short minutes, we will get right back into our coverage. You're watching Live Now from Fox. We'll be right back. Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, 8:19 on the East Coast and 5:19 on the West Coast. As we do, continue to cover everything related to the Iran-Israel conflict here as the back and forth does continue and Israel does brace for the possibility of more rocket fire in the coming hours. We, of course, know that we've been checking in with Fox's Trey Yingst. He has been on the ground and posted this, saying an Iranian ballistic missile struck a residential building in the suburbs of Tel Aviv. At least one woman has been killed and 20 others injured, according to Israeli police. And I do want to play this video for you here.
Right now, we're in the suburbs of Tel Aviv, and you can see where an Iranian ballistic missile slammed into this building. This entire block has been destroyed, and there are currently crews that are going through all of the rubble. Every once in a while, they tell people to be silent. They are looking for survivors, and they will call out and then use a thermal drone to try and find anyone who is underneath a lot of this debris. You can see how these cars here flipped over from the size and power of this blast. And when you look back here, this entire block has been damaged. As we move forward here, Israel is preparing for the possibility that Iran continues these attacks. The regime says they will continue to target Israel as Israeli strikes are hitting not only their nuclear facilities, but also many of their top officials, including those from the IRGC and their nuclear scientists. We'll continue to keep you updated as this story develops.
And of course, you could see that coming in from Trey Yingst with Fox News. He has been following this on the ground. He has been there since the October 7th attacks back in 2023. Of course, one woman had been killed as of the time that he was recording that, but sadly, we've learned that the death toll has gone up to 3. With so many other people injured, the death toll could rise from there. We're keeping in touch with the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, and the Israel Air Force to get all of those details as they do come in. But again, that is Trey Yingst reporting, and we will make sure to check in with him in the coming hours as well, as he is expected to file more of those reports. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, also releasing a very short statement to the people of Iran. He wanted to send a message, and I want to play that for you here on Live Now from Fox.
Tonight, I wish to speak to you, the proud people of Iran. We're in the midst of one of the greatest military operations in history, Operation Rising Lion. The Islamic regime, which has oppressed you for nearly 50 years, threatens to destroy my country, the State of Israel. The objective of Israel's military operation is to remove this threat, both the nuclear threat and the ballistic missile threat to Israel. And as we achieve our objectives, we're also clearing the path for you to achieve your objective, which is freedom. In the past 24 hours, we've taken out top military commanders, senior nuclear scientists, the Islamic regime's most significant enrichment facility, and a large portion of its ballistic missile arsenal. More is on the way. The regime doesn't know what hit them. They don't know what will hit them. The nation of Iran and the nation of Israel have been true friends since the days of Cyrus the Great. And the time has come for you to unite around your flag and your historic legacy by standing up for your freedom from an evil and oppressive regime. It has never been weaker. This is your opportunity to stand up and let your voices be heard. Woman, life, freedom. Zan, Zandegi, Azadi. As I said yesterday and many times before, Israel's fight is not with you. It's not with you, the brave people of Iran, whom we respect and admire. Our fight is with our common enemy, a murderous regime that both oppresses you and impoverishes you. Brave people of Iran, your light will defeat the darkness. I'm with you. The people of Israel are with you.
All right, that was Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu delivering a message in English to the people of Iran, posting that on his social media. Now, the Israeli ambassador to the U.S. also posting his own message here, and I want to play that for you in full, only about 2 minutes in length.
I'm here outside the Situation Room at the Israeli Embassy in Washington. This war did not begin last night. It began on October 7th when an Iranian proxy, Hamas, stormed across the Gaza envelope and slaughtered 1,200 of our civilians. Since then, we've been fighting Iranian proxies, and we've lost close to 900 soldiers in the battle against Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis. We are now engaged in a battle against the head of the snake, the Iranian regime, not the people of Iran, the Iranian regime that is focused on destroying Israel. They actually have a plan that they printed and submitted to their people, which called for the extermination of the state of Israel. And part of that plan was to create a ring of fire around Israel, where the proxies would attack and Iran would shoot ballistic missiles, thousands of ballistic missiles, into the middle of our country. They shot ballistic missiles today as a form of retaliation. We have 35 injured people over the past hour, 2 critically injured, 6 moderately, the rest lightly. But we have considerable successes in the past 24 hours. We have taken out the upper level of the command of the IRGC and the Iranian army. We have hit the Natanz base for uranium enrichment. We have hit the Istamfan base, which is a conversion center for weaponization of enriched uranium. We have hit sites which focus on defense systems to prevent our planes from getting into Iran. And gradually, we are increasing and ensuring our air superiority over Iran in its entirety. This will take several days. I will continue to report. In the meantime, let's pray and let's get out there and tell the public just how justified and how necessary this war is, not only for Israel, but for Western civilization.
And we also have a post coming in from U.S. Ambassador to Israel. That is Ambassador Mike Huckabee, who said, if you hear, quote, Israel is no concern to the USA, remember 700,000 Americans live in Israel. That is equivalent to a full House district. More Americans here than in any other country except Mexico. Iran isn't just attacking Israel, but your fellow Americans who live here as well. The time now 8:27 on the East Coast, 5:27 on the West Coast. You are taking a live look at some of the images that we do have coming in out of Israel at this hour. That is Tel Aviv, as the sun will set in a matter of hours here. And that is when Israel will brace for the possibility of yet another attack from Iran. 4 different rounds fired at Israel by Iran just yesterday, again in the overnight hours. So what folks are saying is that they are preparing during the day, and then at night they do take shelter, or at least stay near their shelters until they hear some of those alerts, the alarms that are going off, and they know that they do need to go into safety. We are going to head to a quick 2-minute commercial break, but we'll make sure to bring you right back to your coverage here in 2 short minutes. Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. It is Friday, June 14th. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here for the next several hours to bring you all of your top stories and live events from across the country and across the world. I do want to remind you that we will have extensive coverage a bit later on today, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, all related, of course, to the Army's 250th birthday celebration, a parade that also coincides with the 79th birthday of President Donald Trump. Again, that coverage does start at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, but if we see events that will take place throughout the day, we'll make sure to bring those to you as well right here on Live Now from Fox. In the meantime, I do want to get right back to some of the live images here that we have coming in out of Israel, and this is one neighborhood that has been decimated, destroyed there by the rocket fire. 4 rounds of rocket fire by Iran just yesterday. Now, Israel does confirm that at least 3 people have died after those rounds of attacks. You're looking at the live image, again, decimated there by rocket fire. You can see folks that are taking pictures. They are returning to their homes and looking to gather some of their belongings there. Iran's ambassador to the United Nations Security Council saying that Israel's attacks killed at least 78 people, including 2 commanders and nuclear scientists, while more than 300 others were injured. Again, you can see the camera person there kind of panning around to show the extent of the damage. A bit earlier on this morning, we did bring you the comments from Israel's envoy to the United Nations, Danny Danon. I want to play for you now the ambassador to the United Nations from Iran as he talks a little bit more about the situation there and essentially what happened to some of their nuclear facilities. He gives kind of a breakdown. Obviously, as we've heard, some of the accounts here have been disputed, but again, do want to play those for you here on Live Now from Fox.
As assuming the presidency of the Security Council this month, and we thank you for your coordination and for convening this urgent and important meeting. We appreciate Under Secretary General Mr. Carlo and Director General Mr. Grossi for their contribution to this meeting. We also wish to express our appreciation to Algeria, Pakistan, China, and the Russian Federation for their support in convening this emergency session to address Israel's unlawful act of aggression against the Islamic Republic of Iran, a grave violation of international law and the Charter of the United Nations. I address the Council today on behalf of the people and government of Islamic Republic of Iran with the utmost urgency and grave alarm. Madam President, last night, the Israeli regime, the most dangerous and terrorist regime in the world, with full intelligence and political support from the United States regime, conducted a series of coordinated and premeditated military attacks across multiple cities in Iran. These acts of aggression and unlawful strikes target peaceful nuclear facilities, military sites, vital civilian infrastructure, and residential areas. Among the key targets was the Natanz nuclear facility, a safeguarded site under the full monitoring of the International Atomic Energy Agency. Madam President, we strongly and unequivocally condemn the barbaric and criminal attack. A series of targeted assassinations were against senior military officials, nuclear scientists, and innocent civilians. So far, 78 people, including senior military officials, have been martyred and over 320 others injured. The overwhelming majority of them civilians, including women and children. Earlier today, Israel continued its act of aggression against Iran, once again targeting multiple civilian and military sites across several Iranian cities. These deliberate and systematic killings were not only illegal, but inhuman, a chilling display of calculated aggression. These atrocities constitute clear act of state terrorism and flagrant violation of international law. Madam President, the inaction of the United Nations, the Security Council, and the IAEA, despite repeated and documented warning by Islamic Republic of Iran regarding Israeli threats against its nuclear sites have seriously undermined the credibility and authority. Their silence in the face of repeated Israeli provocation has emboldened this rogue regime to escalate its violation and cross every red line. Let us be clear. This reckless attack on safeguarded nuclear facilities defied not only the fundamental principles of international law, but also basic common conscience. Any damage to these facilities risks catastrophic radiological consequences that would not be confined to Iran, but could spread across the region and beyond. Only a regime devoid of humanity and responsibility would endanger millions of lives in pursuit of its destructive ambitions. These actions stand in direct violation of numerous legal instruments, including the IAEA Statute, the Treaty of Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, the Geneva Convention, and multiple Security Council and IAEA General Conference resolutions, all of which prohibit attacks or threats against nuclear facilities under safeguards. Above all, this aggression is a grave breach of the United Nations Charter, particularly Article 2, Paragraph 4, which prohibit the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any member state. Israel also violated Iraq's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The Permanent Mission of Iraq today formally protested and condemned this violation of its territorial integrity in a letter to the Security Council and the Secretary General. Madam President, those who support this regime with the United States at the forefront must understand that they are complicit by aiding and enabling these crimes, they share full responsibility for the consequences. Supporting Israel today is supporting war crimes, crimes against humanity, and deliberate undermining of global peace and security. The Israeli regime's long-standing crimes against the oppressed Palestinian people, its repeated violation of the sovereignty of regional countries, and its possessions of undeclared weapons of mass destruction have made the Middle East a cauldron of chronic instability since its creation. It is long overdue for the international community to act. This regime must be disarmed of all weapon mass destructions, placed under international supervision, and held fully accountable. Madam President, this is not a regional issue. This is not merely an attack on one country. This is a direct assault on the international order, an attack on the Charter of the United Nations, the UN system, the global nuclear non-proliferation regime, as well as the authority of the IAEA. Israel's leadership, including its criminal prime minister, has shamelessly and publicly claimed responsibility for these heinous acts. Israeli officials say that this aggression aims to wreak nuclear talks. This confession alone is enough to reveal the real motive behind the attack: to kill diplomacy, to sabotage negotiation, and to drag the region into wider conflict. This leaves no room for denial. Furthermore, the aggression was intentional, coordinated, and fully backed by a permanent member of this Council, the United States. The United States' complicity in this terrorist attack is beyond doubt. The officials of the United States have expressly and brazenly confessed their willful aid and assistance in the crimes and gross violation that Israeli regime committed as of last night, including the deliberate transfer of arms. We will not forget that our people lost their lives as a result of the Israeli attacks with American weapons. These actions amount to declaration of war. They are the latest in a long and well-documented pattern of lawless, destabilizing, and aggressive behavior by the Israeli regime, a regime that acts with impunity because it is shielded by powerful allies. This must end. Madam President, the Security Council must act now, firmly and decisively. In 1981, this very council responded unanimously to the Israeli military attack on Iraqi Osirak nuclear reactor by adopting Resolution 487, which unequivocally condemned the aggression as a flagrant violation of the Charter of the United Nations and international law. The Council also called on this criminal regime to refrain from any such acts or threats in the future. Had the Council enforced that resolution and held Israel accountable at that time, this regime would not have been emboldened to continue this unlawful behavior with impunity. The current aggression is a direct consequence of decades of inaction and double standards. Madam President, the Islamic Republic of Iran reaffirms its inherent right to self-defense as enshrined in Article 51 of the UN Charter. Iran will respond decisively and proportionately to these acts of aggression at a time, in a place, and by means of its choosing. This is not a threat. This is the natural, legal, and necessary consequence of an unprovoked military attack. Iran's response will be firm, lawful, and essential to restore deterrence, defend our sovereignty, and uphold the principles of international law. No aggressor can be allowed to act with impunity. Madam President, we have requested this emergency meeting because we expect this Council to fulfill its Charter mandate. The Security Council must condemn, in the strongest possible term, Israeli unlawful aggression. It must take immediate, concrete measures to hold the Israeli regime accountable and to prevent the further corrosion of international peace and security. Anything less would signal to collapse of the international system and invite chaos. Let me conclude with a simple and undeniable truth. Israel attacked Iran. Israel violated international law and the UN Charter, and Israel must be held accountable. The Security Council must act now and stop this act of aggression immediately. Silence is complicity in this crime. I thank you.
Thank the representative of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
All right, so that was, of course, Iran, as the envoy did speak during that United Nations Security Council meeting, all connected to the situation that is taking place between Israel and Iran. A bit earlier on, we did hear from the envoy for Israel to the United Nations, Danny Danon. We'll likely play that for you a bit later on as well if you did miss it, but you can also find it on our YouTube page. Just go to YouTube, search Live Now from Fox, and while you're there, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we'll send you alerts whenever we have big stories like this that we are covering, and they do happen quite a lot. 8:44 on the East Coast, 5:44 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and we are going to head to a quick break, but on the other side, a lot more coverage of the situation unfolding there in the Middle East. You're watching Live Now from Fox. We'll be right back.
Mike Capel here, Patriot Software's founder. I have a huge respect for small business owners, especially the smallest of small businesses. They do so much. They're under so much pressure and stress. They have to be experts in business specialties like payroll taxes, bookkeeping, and accounting. It's crazy. That's why we created Patriot Software, to make accounting and payroll simple for all size businesses, especially smaller businesses. Check us out at patriotsoftware.com.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, 8:46 on the East Coast and 5:46 on the West Coast on this Saturday, June 14th. My name is Josh Breslow. I've been here for the past several hours to bring you all of your top stories and live events from across the country and across the world. And I do want to get right back into it here as we take a live look over Tel Aviv in Israel. Folks there waiting for sundown, and they are remaining on high alert. As we saw overnight, Thursday night into Friday morning, we saw the situation play out with Israel firing into Iran, and then overnight Friday night into Saturday morning, that is when Iran fired 4 rounds of missiles, rockets, all of that there at Israel. Sadly, we have learned that 3 people died as a result in Israel, and dozens of others were injured. So sadly, we are told that death toll could rise as some of those injuries are believed to be critical. Just about every country sounding off at the United Nations about the ongoing situation, and that does include the United States providing a very brief statement. I want to play that for you right here.
The floor now to the representative of the United States.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Undersecretary General Rosemary DiCarlo and Director General Rafael Grossi, for your briefing. Yesterday, Israel took unilateral action against Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran's regime has, since its founding, repeatedly called for the State of Israel's eradication, launched unprovoked, direct, and proxy attacks on Israeli civilians, and spread terror, instability, and untold human suffering throughout the region. As we speak, Iran is firing missiles at civilian areas across Israel, including in Tel Aviv. As President Trump has repeatedly said, this dangerous regime cannot be allowed to have nuclear weapons. Israel advised us this action was necessary for its self-defense. Every sovereign nation has the right to defend itself, and Israel is no exception. The United States was informed of the strikes ahead of time, but was not militarily involved in these strikes. Our absolute foremost priority is the protection of U.S. citizens, personnel, and forces in the region. As Secretary Rubio said, Iran should not target U.S. interests or personnel. Let me be crystal clear. No government, proxy, or independent actor should target American citizens, American bases, or other American infrastructure in the region. The consequences for Iran would be dire. President Trump was elected with a sweeping mandate from the American people to advance peace and to avoid the grave mistakes of past administrations that led to forever wars. We seek a secure peace. As President Trump said, the violence should come to an end, and Iran should make a deal so that there is, quote, no more death, no more destruction, close quote. The United States will continue to seek a diplomatic resolution that ensures Iran will never acquire a nuclear weapon or pose a threat to stability in the Middle East. Iran's leadership would be wise to negotiate at this time. Thank you.
I thank the representative of the United States for his statement, and I give the floor to the representative of France.
All right, that was the representative of the United States providing a statement there to the United Nations. We will hear from some more of the countries, including the United Kingdom, a bit later on in the day. Now, I do want to check in with Trey Yingst. He is with Fox News, and he is providing some updates here in real time He says the latest Israeli intelligence assessment is that 30 IRGC, that is the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, Air Force commanders and personnel were killed in the strike. Again, this is information just coming into our newsroom from Trey Inks with Fox News. He has been on the ground. He said spoke with a senior Israeli intelligence official who provided new details about the operation that did target Iran. Israel believes Iran currently has about 2,000 missiles, but Israeli intelligence projected that Iran would have an arsenal of 8,000 ballistic missiles. So these are just some of the facts that are coming in from Trey Inks on the ground. We are going to continue to check in with him to get updates, but I do also want to take you out to this live image that we have over Jerusalem as we follow everything related to the Israel-Iran conflict that is ongoing. And we're getting closer and closer to sundown there in Israel, where concerns are that there will be more rocket fire by Iran toward Israel. We'll bring that to you here on Live Now from Fox as we do get the latest developments from Trey and, of course, from the Israel Defense Forces and Israeli Air Force, as well as Israel Police and Shin Bet. We are going to head to our final 2-minute commercial break of the hour here, 8:52 on the East Coast and 5:52 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and you're watching Live Now from Fox. We'll be right back. Welcome back here on Live Now.
Hey, I'm
we
back.
are approaching the top of the hour here, 8:55 on the East Coast and 5:55 on the West Coast. If you are just joining us here, I do want to make sure that we go over all of the latest information that we do have, and we do have several different live images that are coming into our newsroom here from Israel. This is a live look over Tel Aviv at this hour. And again, I do want to go over just some of the basic information that we have here coming in. And again, this is all fluid, so we are getting new details that are coming in pretty much.
All right, they're getting hit hard. And Iran tweeted out something very sinister. They said they all gonna feel it. Yeah, Iran said everybody gonna feel it. Let's pull up this is what Iran said right here. Let's remove this. Yeah, this is what Iran said right here. They said everyone will feel this. So they making threats. as you know, as expected, because they getting wiped out. Israel's getting wiped out. When Israel wants something, they blow up their own people. You know what I'm saying? When Israel want American tax dollars, they blow up their own people. They do it here too. When Democrats want tax dollars, they blow up their own people. It's the same play over and over again, but you'll be arguing with a gump on here for hours. They trying to explain what the hell is going on. The same thing that's going on in Iran and Israel is the same shit that's going on in America. All right, it's just being done by the CIA. The CIA is a branch of Mossad. Same fucking thing. And allegedly, they put together Q. The rogue CIA put together Q. Allegedly. So yeah, Iran on butt. You know what I'm saying? Let me say Iran military. Type this in. Iran military. See if they really said this shit. They probably did. This is them right here. Yeah, sound about right. So the war is online now. You go pull this shit up, you can see everything they doing. General Operation True Promises 3 will continue as long as necessary. So they share, don't they share Gaza? Gaza is Palestine and Palestine is Gaza. So they got motherfuckers just walking around there, you know what I'm saying, getting blown up. His nose got blown up. Look, they said a Zionist, this is from the Iran military, a Zionist rat. So, to y'all people out there, and I ain't on no side of the war because it's getting funded. Both sides are getting funded by America. Both sides are getting funded. See, the thing is, we ain't got to send our military troops over there. We ain't got to go boots on the ground. You just got to send them the toys to take each other out. And then that's when America move in and start buying up the land and shit. I think America just waiting on everybody just to blow themselves up so they could build some damn hotels out there. I think Trump was talking about that shit too. Trump ain't getting involved in this shit. The only thing Trump gonna do is keep that pipeline of money flowing in and out. That's it. But trust me, that shit comes back. It ain't just wasted. That shit comes back in tenfold. That's why a lot of politicians, they fuck with Israel, because you think they would be doing business with Israel if they weren't getting no money out of them? So that's just is what it is. And like I said, Israel ain't nothing but like a DC or a little city state like the Vatican. It ain't big. They ain't no threat. These motherfuckers is no threat. I think Iran, the only reason why Israel is a threat because it's like a Washington, D.C. or a Vatican. That little small strip. That little small fucking strip. They going haywire over. Look at this shit. This shit. Shooting these missiles. The thing is, Iran must not be that far from out. How far is Iran? How far is Iran from? Cause they shooting these damn ballistic missiles. What the fuck? Damn near 1,000 miles. They must be on the edge though. How the fuck? Man, they about 1,000 miles. They about 1,000 miles from each other. Iran and where are they launching these? Oh, right. Okay, so they launch it. That's what it says. Iran has been launching its missiles primarily from Tehran in the western city of Qamarish, according to Iran state media. And confirmed by multiple reports, these locations are significant. Tehran is the capital of a central hub command and control, while I'm butchering that word, by the way. Is a capital and a central hub for command and control, while Kermanshah is known to house underground missile bases and Revolutionary Guard facilities. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is orchestrating the strikes using a mix of ballistic missiles and drones. Some of these were intercepted by Israel's air defense, but others caused serious damage in cities like Tel Aviv, Rishon LeZion, and Ramat Gan. I gotta see how far. I got to, bro. You know how far they launching these damn missiles from 1,000 miles away, yo. These are long range strategic missiles, yo. And they these missiles is traveling over 1,000, about 980 miles, yo. That's crazy work right there. That's crazy work. I don't see how in the hell they doing this shit with this kind of technology they have for their missile. Well, I'm pretty sure they got a whole bunch of shit, but that's amazing if they could do that. Send a missile 1,000 miles away to this damn city right here. But allegedly they got a dome that's shooting these bad boys down. And it's crazy to me that they could do this shit. Now, I wonder what it would be like if these missiles and this setup was a little closer, like right across the street from each other. That'd be some wild, that'd be a wild boots on the ground type war right there. I don't even think. Now the thing is, what are they gonna do to retaliate against Iran? Iran is bigger than is a way bigger country than Israel, but like I said, Israel is backed up by the United Nations and the Zionist agenda, and it is what it is. It is what it is. It's crazy work, though. Let me see what else we got. Let me get this off the screen. But yeah, the original show was this Doja Cat. If you want to rewind the tape, man, you rewind the tape and get that action, that Justin Bieber and that Doja Cat action. You know, we gotta explain what's going on in Hollywood. So if you want to catch that episode, and then after that, we was just streaming the news till I got home. The reason why I got off, I had to go do something, but yeah, I'm back now. But I'm gonna fire up another show. I wanted to talk about some things, so I'm gonna make a new thumbnail. Let's see what else we got. Kanye West, his ass in trouble too. I think he was a part of that Diddy. He was a part of that Diddy parties. Because allegedly, Bianca is one of Diddy's sex slaves. That's what they said, that Bianca. I'm gonna let you hear it. I'm gonna let you hear it now. Hold on. I'm about to let y'all hear it now, because I said, yup, that sound about right too. That sound like something that sick motherfucker would do. And yes, that is Beyonce. All right, that is Beyonce. I know y'all are flabbergasted, but her age is showing, and the witch's foot is showing. All right, her witch's foot is showing.
Enemies. What if I told you Diddy just went full Frank Lucas today, and he said, if I'm going...
This is an update on Piss and Boots, a.k.a. Diddy.
With friends like this, who needs enemies? What if I told you Diddy just went full Frank Lucas today, and he said, if I'm going down, the whole industry going with me? Y'all remember American Gangster? Hear me out. Today, Diddy was in an uproar, trying to get evidence in and out. They found a secret phone that had all type of evidence that Diddy has been manipulating. And remember, Frank Lucas, an American Gangster, he was a big gangster, then he went and turned on everybody and started snitching. He was looking at 70 years for trafficking, conspiracy, bribery, all kind of like Diddy, but he only ended up getting 15 years. And look who Diddy brought into the fold, Kanye West and his wife, Bianca. Now, remember the Jane Doe said a trip about going to Vegas with an unnamed rapper. They're still not naming the name, but I'm gonna tell you who it is, and y'all tell me what y'all think. I got receipts. Now, I think it's Kanye, but check this out. Remember, Anton was the sex worker who she saw in Vegas. That's what Diddy and Jane had a big argument about. Now, this gets deep. Now, remember, Jane said, yes, I was flown to Las Vegas for a birthday party, and we went to a strip club, and I recognized Anton. And after doing some digging, Kanye West's wife, Bianca, rocks tiny bikini while celebrating 29th birthday, January 6, 2024. She celebrated her 29th birthday in Las Vegas. Jane even commented about the girlfriend or wife of that rapper and said she is so beautiful. Also said the rapper was an old friend of yours. Yes, old friend, look how far back. Daphne Joy, this is her Twitter account. Congratulations to Kim K and Kanye West on their New Year's blessing and baby. All the way back in December 31st, 2012. I would call that a long time frame. Also, look at this Instagram story. This is for a few weeks after that January party. She posted on her story with a Kanye West song talking about the rap is something about it's hard to find fine women with big boobs. And at this party, Garrigo said you expose your boobies to the room. At this party, she said, no, it just happened in the moment, but she did do it. Then the rapper said he always had wanted to sleep with her. He just hadn't yet, so he had a crush on her. But it gets
That's
even
Kanye,
deeper.
y'all.
But before I get to the deep part, check this out. The rapper asked Jane about some other sex workers they could invite into this freak-off party with that unnamed rapper.
Allegedly.
And that's when she told him about
But
her
it
bra.
seemed like Kanye, he's the only one that can
Diddy
show
was
his
hot
face.
about this. When he found out, he said he kept saying, how could you go to another rapper's freak-off? And it's been right in our face the whole time. Tenny Garagos, Diddy's defense attorney, said, remember that $9,000 that Jane got from Bear to help out from her modeling days? She said, did you do any work for it? The rapper mentioned he was close with Combs. Yes. But that name Bear, what is that?
That's Bear right there.
Bear? Remember that Instagram?
That's Bear right there. I don't think they're gonna crucify him. I don't think he did anything criminal, but he's sexually deviant as well. We all know that. Yeah. Let me pull this up. Yeah, it's some crazy work, fam. Go there. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna have to. I'll be on here in a few hours. I'm out.